one of these days,
One
you're
of
gonna
these
have
days.
to you're gonna have to rap an intro for us.
One of these
Oh,
days,
I could
I'm
do one
gonna
off the top
pay
right now.
back a
AJ,
payback.
if
One
you'll
of these days.
beatbox me a beat, I'll do everybody's names over the beat.
don't know if
Can
I
you
can.
beatbox?
Sure. You
Okay,
ready?
give me one. Yeah, give me a beat. Robert Sullivan in the chat. Robbie B, the English game cat. With a $5 tip before the show started, Mike Ox, Big Napa Bear, Unicorn, Girl, or Steve the Game Cat, Dean Hollowas, Cool Rick the Game Cat, Ace Bill V, Attack Cat, the V, our grid, Charlie Roche Senior, Hashtag Game Cat, Hashtag Game Cat. I don't know why I said that. That's about all I'm going to do. You can do the rest.
Where'd you stop at? All right, Dan Hallowes, Orseek, I'm Orseek, Unicorn Girl, Ace Bill, the Attack Cat, VR Grid. What's up, Ryan? Charlie Roast, Your Long Shadows. Hello, Woody the Bluebird, Hibsy the Game Cat, Jason Ewing, Robbie B. I think I already got to Doug Fu, Ninja Cat, Believe, Spartan, Joe Mojo, Rose Blue, Road Blue, Rouge
is not blue.
Donatello, the Scientist Game Cat, Toss Me a Ninja Slice, Just Incredible VR Course, the Game Cat, Boop, Berber Cat, Great Tangent, What's Up JB, Jacob Bass. I'm going to say bass. It's probably bass, but I'm going to say bass because I'm a bassist. Some Fat Kid, yo, what's up, my dude? Sitter669, the Unholy Game Cat, Nick Mulo, Fred Wheatfill 2. Where's Fred Wheatfill 1? Hard to get genetic blasphemy. Dave Station VR in the chat today. 97 Skynet, the T800 Game Cat. Now, don't sub. Hello, Adam Culinary. Hey, forget about it. Total question marks. Skursky Productions, X Unity, Dennis Manguso.
That's probably everybody, right?
I don't know. We started the show like 10 minutes ago.
What's up, Tatsuki?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of PSVR Gamescast Live, where we film every Thursday night at 6 p.m. Eastern. We bring it to you live because that's what live means. It all happens at the same time. We do it. You see it. Thanks for hanging out. My name is Brian Paul from the channel right here, without Parole, and these guys to my right, also to your right, which is amazing. Dave from Dave Station VR.
That's me.
And that guy on the far right inside the screen is AJ from the Underground, PSVR Underground.
PSVR is on fire.
That's right. It's been a good week.
What's up, guys?
Very
What's
good
up,
week.
Pat? What's up, Brian, Dave?
Just
How's
hanging
everybody
out.
going?
Yeah,
What's going on?
Dude, when's my
Doing
Gorn
well.
review coming out? When's my Gorn review
That's a
coming
good
out?
question, yeah.
When's
Gorn
my
out?
Gorn review coming out?
Is Gorn out?
I don't know. When's my Gorn review coming out? I don't know. It's supposed to be. I'll tell you guys right now. It was supposed to be out like yesterday, and then it didn't happen. And it was supposed to be out this morning. It didn't happen. Now I'm going to say it's coming out tomorrow. Let's see if it happens.
Yeah. All right.
Hopefully. But I think we're going to
Now
talk
that you've
enough
said
about
it
Gorn
publicly,
tonight.
I think.
Yeah, I think we're going to talk
You're on
enough
that.
about Gorn tonight, though, right? And so that should cover the review stuff. If anyone's curious,
Yeah, who needs a review? Just watch us talk for an hour about it. No problem.
Yeah, watch us battle to the death.
Why watch a 5-minute video when you could
Yeah.
watch an hour-long video?
I know your guys' time doesn't matter that much these days, so.
Wow, it's unfortunately true. My time
Yeah.
also does not matter. Guys, a little bit of housekeeping to get out of the way while we get the show started up. Make sure you join us in the Discord. That link is in the description. That's where we hang out all the time, just to talk about PSVR and dumb shit, man. It's sometimes PSVR, sometimes it's not. Dave's talking, but he's muted. Were you were talking to
I'm
Celia?
talking to my Alexa, yeah.
What were you saying to her?
I'm trying to get my lighting how I like it. I don't like it right now.
Oh, see, the only thing mine does is play music and play videos and stuff. I don't have like it
Oh,
all
yeah,
linked
check
up to
this
my...
out. Alexa, turn on living room light. Bad boy in the corner over there. Alexa, turn
God,
off fan.
Dude, you're turning on people's shit like left and right here.
Right.
Oh, yeah, sorry, everybody out there.
Alexa, subscribe me to pornography.
I don't think she can do that yet.
I mean, you know,
I,
one
I
day.
apologize for their actions.
In the
you guys.
future.
Somebody will be watching this someday in the future, and it'll do something. Hopefully.
4 goddamn minutes, Brian. What do we do on this show?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel especially unprepared today, but there is so much to talk about that I feel like maybe we shouldn't mess around. We shouldn't waste 8 goddamn minutes. We should just dive right into it.
Cut it in half. 4 goddamn minutes. Let's
Right.
go.
And I think it's time to start the show the way we begin every show, with a little game of should we or shouldn't we. We put 60 seconds up on the clock up on the counter, the way that Jeremy likes it. I feel like maybe we need to change this introduction now that Jeremy's not on this show. Dude, that light is
I'm
tripping
going
me out.
dark mode. I just went dark mode.
Nice. I really like
This
it.
is old school. You guys remember when I used to be dark mode all the time?
Is it? Yeah. All right, I got a new light,
like
so I
dark
kind of have
now.
like a nice like warm hue rather than my stark white lighting.
Yeah, this reflects the cave-like lifestyle that I live, I think, pretty well.
Nice, nice, and it's our chance to tell you, the loyal game cats, whether you should or should not be watching and or playing the things that we've been watching and or playing. Who would like to go first?
I'll probably go first because I don't think Dave's ready.
I'll go last. Yeah, I still
and I'm
haven't
like,
thought of
and
anything.
I'm like half ready.
Perfect.
So at least I feel like I'm the most ready of the three of us.
All right, on your mark, get Des, go.
So I'm gonna reach back into my bag of Saturday Night Live streams where another one I played was Sorento, the ultimate ninja simulator, and that's pretty much exactly what it is. Every time I play this game, man, I kind of hit a wall in that game because it's like there's not much left to do, but it is fun to jump back in and just test out your different weapons and stuff. And there's like a deep upgrade system where you have every weapon unlocked, but I like the glaive the most. I think it's called the glaive. I feel like freaking Ninja Gaiden every time I throw that thing. It's basically a giant like star-shaped blade. And the locomotion system I still think is one of the best we have on PSVR. But there are the drawbacks of some of the graphics. No, not really a story, but I'm excited to see what Mixed Realms does next. And I think this game, while on sale around the $20 mark, is a should we. I think it's too expensive at $37 because they're charging like a AAA price for that, and it's not a AAA game.
Yeah.
But there's no denying how good the gameplay is.
There's no denying at all. Yeah. Awesome. And Dave, am I going next?
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out one.
All right, that's cool. Cool. I'm just going to change the text here so people know what we're doing. I'm trying to keep this text up to date in the bottom left-hand corner so people don't need timestamps. They can just scroll through. Although whoever the hell's been commenting with timestamps, thank you. I'm going to keep pinning your comments if you keep doing that.
Real quick, there's something you can do now on YouTube videos with timestamps where you can section it off into like chapters, like a DVD, where it's like, this is the intro, this is this, and people can click to the next section. We should look into that if people are already timestamping it, because that would be cool.
We should, but as long as it requires no extra work on my account, because that's why
That's what I'm saying.
That's why I don't include.
If it's already
timestamps.
timestamped, if you guys timestamp it, we'll do that. Like push and pull.
Dave's like, I'll do that.
I'm sure if you
Perfect.
give me access to the Without Parole YouTube account, I will do all sorts of stuff.
As it turns out, it's not happening after all.
Yeah.
All right, on my mark, get Des and go. Oh, mother. Hold on. I don't know how things work. On your mark, get Des, go. Yeah, there we go. So this is what I've been doing this week in Beat Saber. I feel like every week there should be like a what Brian's been doing in Beat Saber Academy update. Every week I feel like I have to pick one song and then spend hours and hours with it because that's how long it takes me to go from hard mode to expert mode. And I'm doing KDA Pop Stars currently, and that game is so much fun. Yeah, as AJ's doing it right there, the vertical chops on expert, it's just so satisfying when you.
I love that song. Yeah,
so good. I don't even want to I'm so close to doing it. I had a huge problem with the bridge. And I was maybe like 2 or 3 attempts from actually getting it the other night, and then I was like so tired. And I was like, I'm gonna go away from this. I'm gonna take a little bit of a break, and when I come back, I bet I'm gonna be able to do it. And I haven't gone back because I've been so busy. But I know the second I drop back into Beat Saber, I'm gonna be able to beat KDA Pop Stars in like the first couple tries. It's a definite should we. Great song, a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
On top of the up and down swinging part, the part that comes afterwards, where it's like do 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 do, like. Ain't nobody keeping us down. Like, it's a cool little, I don't know. It's a good one.
100%. I absolutely agree. I'm having a hard time finding songs that I want to commit to for that long because it's hours. I know it's going to be hours of my night, if not multiple nights to master one song on expert. And so I'm like flipping through the songs. I'm like, no. Like one really has to jump out at me to be like, yes, this is the one you want to listen to for the next 3.5 hours. And I don't know why Pop Stars did it for me, but it did. Definite should we. David, are you ready?
I just thought of one.
What is your favorite song besides Pop Stars? Or is that your favorite song?
To play on Beat Saber?
Beat Saber, yeah.
I honestly, and I'm you guys know I wasn't an Imagine Dragons fan before, but I think Battle Ire is so much fun to play because it's the beginning. It just like seems like a barrage of blocks coming at you, but it's just like. It's like you can do it with your eyes closed. It feels like it's just so fluid. And I'm like, how is this working right now? How am I doing this? And then some of the crossovers are just so great on the chorus. And those always make me smile whenever you like fucking nail a crossover like that.
After playing the Final Fantasy VII remake, I really love Rum and Bass and Burning Sands.
Rum
I
and
recommend
Bass
you try
is
those.
so good.
Yeah.
I can actually do Rum and Bass on Expert.
I just wish you would say "Fire the God Cannon."
Real quick. I thought we had 60 seconds each, and I thought it was my turn.
It is, man.
Let's go.
I thought you were the one that said we should hang out and chat a little bit
On your
more.
mark.
No, I didn't say that. I got my shit. It's ready to go.
Go.
All right, this is a musical recommendation. It doesn't come off the same way. You know, lyrics in the 90s were a little different, but Iron Man VR demo came out today, as you all know. I was listening to, just before the game's cast, Ghostface Killer's album Iron Man, which is one of the first spin-off Wu-Tang albums, and it's really good. Still holds up, besides some weird shit he says that's like, you shouldn't call somebody the F word or whatever, but, you know, moving on from that, it's pretty good. Still good album. And everybody should listen to Wu-Tang more often. They're still pretty good. They hold up. And I don't know how to talk for 60 seconds about it. Really good production by the RZA. It's called Iron Man. It's relevant. That's why I listened to it. And that's, how much more time do I have?
Oh, like 15 more seconds.
Okay.
Vamp, dude,
vamp. Great
talking about
performances from Raekwon and Jizza and all sorts of other, I don't know. That's it.
Okay. You know, I gotta give you.
I came up with that right before I started.
I think that was the most PSVR related should we shouldn't we you've had to date. So congrats.
Probably so. Yeah,
I'm very proud of you.
Yeah. All right, man. I also want to give a heads up to you guys. I was absolutely. I got my Quest back there. I don't know if you guys can see it. I was minutes away from being able to play Crisis Brigade 2. Hooked up to my PC. I hadn't hooked it up to my PC yet, but then I had a huge problem installing the Oculus app for some reason. It took 4 tries, and it was like a 9 gig install, and so it really sucked that I didn't get to play that for you guys. But I'm definitely going to have updated impressions for you very soon. I think we need to take care of a couple tips before we.
I think we do. I'm going to try and get this to work because this hasn't been working lately. So I'm going to point him away from the microphone. Did he come through that time?
No better.
Not really.
Why doesn't he come through on that? Maybe he doesn't see
you got some kind of filter.
Can we go all the way back to the first tip just to make sure we got Robbie B, the English Game Cat, with the £5 donation saying Saints and Sinners for Game of the Year, Camouflage.
Ooh.
Hold my beer.
Oh, we're getting all kinds of tips now.
That
Another
rhymed.
one. Bell Ramio, the Game Cat, €20. Got to sleep. We'll watch you guys tomorrow. Have fun. Iron Man really seems to be delivering, though. Scream emoji.
Can't wait
monkey
to talk
with
about it.
hands over eyes.
You
emoji.
just biased, Bel Ramio. You and your Iron Man mask in the Discord.
There's a new rule for tonight as far as tips goes as well. If you put emojis in there, I'll try to recreate them. So if you put a scream emoji, I'll go, ah!
Well, have fun with this next one.
Extra. Yeah. Oh, that's not...
This one you have to animate with. Do you have any trophy line around?
What is... I don't know what that is, but it is amazing.
This is Guts Griffith. He's a cat holding a trophy.
It's like a cat samurai. Like
I don't have a hat like that.
Kicking up with a
kind of loving on the trophy. Loving on the trophy.
I love it.
This says All-Star Award, by the way. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, that's my name. Don't never mind. You don't have to look at that. Like doxing myself. This is where I work. This is my name. All right. Then we got, oh my God, we got so many more. Joe Grover with $30.
Joe Grover.
I love Dave's Gorn reaction. I simply can't wait until you guys talk about that game.
I can't wait either.
And it's going to be great.
Yeah.
And then last one, real quick, while we
holy
clear these out. Napa Bear, $2, and says, love the content, going through the full backlog. There's a lot in there, man. There's a lot in there.
I've seen a lot of comments on some older videos lately, and it makes me cringe, because I know that people are cringing when they're watching the old stuff, because a lot of it's cringeworthy.
Oh, it's not that bad.
It's just it always makes me go, oh, I don't know what we talked about in this episode. Oh, what was the deal? And I just and I actually have to, anytime I see a comment on an old video, I have to start the old video just for a few seconds to go, what's the vibe of this show? And
just to clarify, I see the chat going off here. Maybe I take back what I said. That's not true. Everyone wants to poop emoji, and then Robbie B tip 2, and he wants like 12 different emojis. This is too much.
I mean, you started this.
You regret that yet? You got to try.
and then I can't do a fucking cartwheel, man, Robbie. Not for $2 by any means. And
Do
then
a
be like,
cartwheel,
and then
Dave.
another cartwheel, and then
Live
I got
up to the hype.
But I had to switch between a lady and a man, but I don't know how to do that.
I mean, there are
years.
operations, yeah.
No, it takes years and a lot of
HRT,
chemicals.
sure.
You are clever, Robbie.
Okay, all right. Anyways, we got
The
more
VR
tips,
grid,
guys. We're never
Ryan
gonna
from the
get this
VR
guy
grid with the Canadian $5 donation says forget Gorn, skip to Iron Man VR. They're actually right next to each other. So since he paid for them, we will swap those around. Actually, I think they're.
We also got Bell Ramio again. He says, "I want to see that." What is this? This is going to waste so much time.
No.
That's off the table. That's off the table. I can do the like. How do you do that?
Thank
that
you guys
one,
so much for your generous donations,
Yeah,
but we
let's
do
move
have
on.
to move
Thank
on
you.
with the show. I appreciate the attempt at creativity, Dave, but
It just came out of my mouth,
idea.
and I wasn't really thinking. Yeah, it's out.
All right, so guys, we have a lot of news.
How many news stories are there on the Roper Report this week, AJ?
We have a lot of news. We've got new updates to games. We've got new games that came out. We've got new announcements. Guys, this is easily the best month in PSVR history.
It's still
I'm
May.
so happy.
Holy shit.
I am so happy to be a PSVR owner right now. And I actually tweeted at Shuhei earlier and said that, I think they've even got some more tricks up their sleeve, which we'll get to in a minute, because we have 15 items on the list. And the first one is...
Oh, my God, a baker's dozen.
It's a baker's dozen.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sony president and CEO Kenichiro Yoshida confirmed that, quote, games for the PS5 that delivered this new game experience are being made by both first and third-party developers, and we plan to introduce a compelling lineup of titles soon.
Are you compelled?
Now, I am compelled. The power of PSVR compels you. Now, the significance of this is that we've been hearing a bunch of rumors about them maybe June 4th, them actually releasing the Kraken, the PS5, and a lineup of games. What you guys think about that?
I think this is the perfect time. I think Dave also has to unmute himself. Did we talk?
I was talking to Alexa.
Jesus, he's
Sorry,
throwing
man.
me off, man. I think this is perfect. I think that after the trickle of information that we've had, I think that we've seen the controller, we've seen Mark Cerny do ASMR, and it's just time to fucking blow up some fireworks, man, and let's do the E3 presentation that isn't going to happen, and let's get people excited about this thing and show a lineup of games, dude. AJ and I have been talking, and it's been 3 years since Sony announced a new AAA title. So it's been close to 3 years.
Yeah.
Can you imagine all the teams over there at Sony, all the first-party studios that have been working on things in secret for so long, and now it's time to start revealing these things, and especially since a lot of it's going to be for next gen. I mean, I think June 4th, and that's not very far away. It's 2 weeks away. So exciting.
Obviously, it could be subject to change, but I do
rumor,
expect
but yeah.
the part of those rumors is that there will be some PSVR games involved as well. And as my dude JB, the Great Tantrum, says, Gran Turismo full VR, please, I hope. Guys, I got to tell you, if I were to predict one thing, it would be Gran Turismo in VR.
Yeah, I don't think that needs
If I
to
just
be
had one.
I don't think that needs to be like a brand new entry into the series either. It can just be like Gran Turismo Sport V2 or something. It'd be like, hey, we took Gran Turismo Sport, we put it on PlayStation 5. Now it has full VR support. It's got more tracks, more cars, and it's just an expansion. Because Polyphony takes forever to make a Gran Turismo game, so they're probably not ready to make a full-fledged sequel. But having one that's just fucking pimped out, a pimped out version of V1, I think that's totally plausible.
I do too.
Yeah.
There's also been these Silent Hill rumors have been coming up again. Aesthetic Gamer, aka Dust Golem on Twitter, says, just to clear up some things about Silent Hill PS5, from what I know, 100% thing. So he is swearing by this, saying that this is 100% this is information that he believes to be true. He says, in 2018, Konami shopped around with different studios for 2 pitches to fund development of a reboot and an episodic Silent Hill game. I knew this from a personal friend and an email from someone separately. Neither got the job, but I know this is fact. Neither got the job, but I know this is fact. And he says in late 2019, a separate close friend in Japan informed me a Silent Hill game was being developed in Japan that had started development at the start of 2019. So the rumors about 2 Silent Hill games being worked on, about Kojima's involvement, have all been thrown out the window. But now they're saying he's still sticking by them, saying there is one Silent Hill game in the works.
Right. And the one thing we do know about this from Aesthetic Gamer is that it's Studio Japan. Studio Japan is making this, and it will be a PlayStation 5 exclusive. I mean, that's just insanity. That is absolute insanity. And I do think that this is one of those titles that will blow people out of the water. Right? I'm showing the Silent Hills trailer, by the way, just for out of lack of better things to show during a Silent Hill conversation. This is not Silent Hills, as AJ already said. This is a new Silent Hill game, a soft reboot to the franchise, not a brand new start, but like something that's will make it easy for people who've never played a Silent Hill game to kind of dive into for the first time. And I think the VR thing is kind of a no-brainer. If you have Japan Studio working on it and it's a PlayStation 5 game, I mean, you're going to satisfy so many people with this announcement.
It's going to be so good.
Right?
Japan Studio making a VR Silent Hill?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I mean,
that would blow it out of the water. And I really just can't wait to see, this Gran Turismo. One thing I love about this new DualSense controller is how it's supposed to be more immersive and add immersion. And I think that's going to help some games that use the DualShock with the PS5 if they have VR support. I think that's going to maybe help that immersion a little bit, because that's their goal until they eventually inevitably release a PSVR 2 later down the line.
Yeah. What do you think the rumors what do you think the possibility is that this big reveal, this lineup of games will include the Horizon game that London Studio was kind of teasing at one point?
I mean, strong. That'd be huge. I mean, strong for VR, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I think Horizon Zero Dawn 2 will get revealed, and maybe the portion that Sony London Studio has been working on will be revealed as well. But all I would put my money on at this point is just the Horizon Zero Dawn 2 announcement. That's it.
Do you think there's any possibility that Horizon just got moved over to the London studio team, and Guerrilla's working on something new, something different? You don't think they'd take Horizon away from Guerrilla, who've spent 7 years making that game, right?
I could see them working with another team on it, bringing in somebody else to get them up to speed on VR design and stuff. They should be consulted at least.
Sony likes to definitely mix and match different teams to help other production and developers. So that's not uncommon. Developers do this all the time, where they kind of take some people to help out with certain areas, and I'm sure they compensate them for that. But all we can just hope for is just some really good PSVR stuff.
Yeah, my hope is, the only reason I brought it up is because my hope is that the Horizon VR thing we get is not hey, here's a Horizon VR experience. I want the next Horizon game to be playable completely in VR and non-VR, and I think that's going to be a company line that we hear from Sony a lot more going forward. Is, hey, check out this game, especially with the power of the PlayStation 5. Check out this game, it looks awesome. They show the whole thing at the end. They show the PS5 logo and the PSVR logo, and they're just however you want to play.
I don't know, man, because some of the magic of VR is that the game is designed with VR in mind. Resident Evil 7 is great, but it's not as VR. You know how those games we say this is VR as fuck? Mm-hmm. When we talk about certain games, if you go down that line, you're never going to get those games. You're going to get games that no. I
think No Man's Sky is pretty VR as fuck.
No Man's Sky is VR as fuck because they did a very good implementation, and they took quite a lot of time, and it didn't come out anywhere near the flat screen.
I know what you mean, though. It
took them a while to increment that and get it to where it was, I think. So I don't... If it's day and date, it's got a full-on VR version and a full-on flat screen version. I mean, that's the utopian idea, because then we get all the big, Assassin's Creeds type shit in VR. But at the other side of it is they're not going to be thinking as much about VR if they have to. Like, you have to make sacrifices to do one or the other. So I would prefer to see them dedicate a budget to a standalone big IP title AAA game that maybe isn't as expansive, maybe isn't as expensive, and maybe not as long, but is still that IP in full-on great graphics, good gameplay, glory type thing.
Dave, when you reference Resident Evil 7 as being not VR as fuck, I'm like, that's totally fine. I understand that. It's a DualShock 4. There's a lot, it's a lot of menu stuff. But man, it's still the most immersive, most frightening game I've ever played. And
one game on a list.
And it's my favorite PlayStation VR game, period. And the fact is I would much rather have a lot of VR games that are not VR as fuck, that don't take full advantage, but I still get to play and get immersed in those worlds the way I want to. Otherwise, I'm not going to play. That
makes sense. I mean, I guess that makes sense. But I just would prefer to see more VR from the ground up type games.
I think. Speaking of,
go.
Oh, sorry. Go.
I was going to say, I think we're desperate for lots of AAA games, and if this is the way we get a bunch of AAA games, awesome.
So be it.
And then we'll also get these other very VR as fuck games, like Iron Man, like Shadow Legend, like Saints and
built
Sinners.
From the ground up.
Yeah, a combination of both would be a perfect world for me.
Did you say Astrobot? Better have said Astrobot.
I mean, I was going to say Moss, but then I started thinking about tiny little mouse sticks.
Okay, so speaking of Resident Evil 7, which we're going to segue into that, we got some donations to take care of.
Ooh, we do, don't we?
Yep, starting with Berramio.
I thought Berramio was going to bed.
Yeah,
he said he was. But he's a liar.
Before he did, he donated €5 and says, "Okay, let's not make Dave crazy, everyone."
Too late.
That's my mission every week.
Professor Lilith with $5 says, having a blast with Saints and Sinners after pushing through the panic. Thanks for telling us all to get it. And once again, everybody go buy Saints and Sinners. That game is
absolutely.
For sale. And then we got another Saints and Sinner comment from Joe Grover, the F and Game Cat, who says, Saints and Sinners is like real life. Lots of zombies. But the most dangerous things on the planet are live humans. LOL. I'm totally digging it and taking it in slow like a fine wine.
Nice.
So good.
Very perceptive of you.
Very good.
It's true. The humans in Saints and Sinners are much more difficult than any of the zombies in the game, or walkers, I should say.
And once you get a shotgun, they're not so bad.
I'm so jealous of people who get to just take their time and enjoy going through games nice and slow. Whereas I'm like, I got to play this game for 9 hours today so I can get a review out tomorrow. But yeah, I'm very happy for all the cats who are out there enjoying this right now.
I definitely took my time with it. I couldn't help it. I was like, I had to savor it because it had been so long since we had gotten a game like this.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to just, It took me forever to just beat the damn thing because I just kept going into town and scavenging.
I think it's the way to do it, man. Enjoy it. Take your time.
Yeah.
Thank you for all the tips.
Yes, thank you so much. According to Road to VR, they have published another latest figures suggest Resident Evil 7 has exceeded 1.25 million PSVR players. So last time we had heard from them, which they've been, I like Road to VR, and they had basically said that last time we spoke about this, it was 1 million that they had crossed. So since then, another 250,000 people have just manned up or womaned up, and they have played Resident Evil 7, and I'm proud of every one of you that did.
They curled up. They snuggled up. They kittened up.
They nutted up. How many other ways can you say that?
Also, is it still on sale? Is it still on sale for $20?
It should still be on sale. The gold edition is $20. If you already have the game, then the banned footage volume 1 is $5.99, and the banned footage volume 2 is, I think, $8.99. Or you can buy the whole gold edition. I might just buy the gold edition. Oh, I don't know. I've got it physical, but $20 for the gold edition is a great price. But highly both of those DLC packs have VR support. So if you loved Resident Evil 7, go get you some more.
See, there's so much more. We got a real quick tip here. Sorry about that, 2 miles. I feel like that was impolite. 10 euros, pounds, whatever that is. I always mix it up. Pounds. Yeah. Do you think that VR has brought people in who were not into games before? 1,000%, yes. Because there's so much intuitive gameplay, and like the mechanics a lot of the time are just grab something. Everyone has grabbed something in their life. not everybody's played with the fucking, this thing. So if your parents, want to try an experience, it's intuitive. They just reach out, they do the stuff. Feels like real life as closely as you can in the game. So it's easy barrier to entry. And I think people are just blown away, especially old people. When they see it, they're just like, whoa, this is insane.
Especially old people. I guess I'm old people because I absolutely was blown away the second I put that thing in my head.
No, but like, it's, for me, I was blown away, but it was like believable. It was like, okay, this makes sense. And I know I'm in a game and I'm not going to forget and jump into my TV like that dude that went viral. You know what I mean? Like, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I think Sue is on something. Also, somebody just said it in the chat. Murphy Park said Iron Man will bring tons to VR. I think there's a ton of people out there that have huge Marvel fans, huge Iron Man fans, huge Avengers fans, and they're like, "This looks amazing," because it is, and they'll maybe take the plunge when that bundle drops.
I think stuff like this is where experiences kind of actually have like an advantage of being able to stick a family member, stick a friend into one of these VR experiences for the first time, and that could maybe have them find a connection to gaming. I know like Ocean Descent is something that you can put people in and they really enjoy. But then, like I remember one time just like my mom, I was like visiting her up in Tennessee, and she saw Moss on the screen and she was like, "What is that? I want to play that." And she doesn't play games. And she was just like, "I have to play that thing with that mouse." And so, I could totally see it. It's a good question.
Absolutely. Time to move on.
Yep. So Crisis Brigade 2 has a new cinematic trailer. If you haven't seen it yet, you can check on Twitter, or you can go to my channel. I posted the trailer on there.
Or you could just watch it in the corner here while I'm playing it.
There you go. Is that the new one?
Yeah, man. What do you think I do here? I run the fuck.
I was really hoping, because I never asked you. So I was hoping that you had gotten to play this. I know you have access to it, an early build on the PC side.
Yeah.
But this game just overall, what do you guys think of this trailer? I think it looks amazing, even though it's not gameplay.
Big step up. I mean, they've obviously, I don't know if they sold enough copies to get a better budget, or if they're just getting better at using game design tools or something, but like, it looks very good compared to the first one. And it seems like the gameplay is going to be similar, which is not a problem at all.
Yeah, we speculated a lot about, I wonder if this, I wonder if that. And then I talked to Diego Martin a little bit, one of the developers, through DM on Twitter. And I was like, what can you tell me about the gameplay? Is it different? Are there any? And he's basically like, we want to make like a much more realistic version, from all perspectives of Crisis Brigade 1. He's like, so I think it sounds like a lot of the gameplay mechanics are very, very similar. But man, if you watch the not cinematic trailer, you'll see some of the cool things that the sequel does over the original. More realistic enemy animations, and like you see a group of dudes and they flip a table over, and you're like, what just happened there? Dude comes crashing through the wall, and it's like, wow, okay, they've really spent some time with this. Like, just so it's not just, hey, here's a location and a bunch of people go shoot him, hurry up. It's like things are happening around you.
It's got a little bit more of like a Blood and Truth look to it now.
Yeah, I like the gritty, realistic look. It's real nice.
Yeah, I do too. I think it's a huge step up. And even, I'd expect this one to play almost the same. It does sound like there's going to be some explosions, some little like action scenes. I mean, the Ransom, the third update for Crisis Brigade 1 had this whole like Matrix ripoff level, and you're like in a helicopter with a chain gun and stuff. So I would love to see them, add to this a little bit, starting with the graphics. And then the next one, like if they make a Crisis Brigade 3 or something, make like a full-blown game, action sequences, all this kind of stuff would be just really awesome. I need my Time Crisis fix. And this is that game.
Yeah, this is a solid step forward.
I really like the new look, but I will say I'm still holding out hope for a game that looks and plays like Virtua Cop or something. Like I would kill for a game with that arcade aesthetic, because Time Crisis or Crisis Brigade didn't really nail that exactly. They did a super cartoony thing that didn't look anything like those classic arcade like gun shooters, Yeah. And I'd love somewhere in the middle where it's still like not realistic, but it's more like the nostalgia hit that I want. Somebody go make that game.
Yeah, there are things about Time Crisis that I really love that so far I haven't seen any other game do.
I need a big circle around an enemy before he's about to shoot me, like a big red circle, and then I know to shoot that guy.
I don't need that. I don't think I was ever as big on Virtua Cop as I was with Time Crisis games. But
don't they have that in Time Crisis too?
I don't know. Maybe
when I get about to shoot you, I think they flash red with the circle right before they're about to shoot you.
Maybe it's not quite as obvious. The Virtua Cop one seemed to be like, this is here.
The giant circle, not the guy. Yeah.
But it was the thing I always liked about Time Crisis games. I remember playing Time Crisis 2 in like finishing it, and then being like, oh, you unlocked a new weapon, and then you go back and like you do it again, and then or you unlock more credits every time you attempt the game. You unlock more credits, more continues, whatever, and it just seems like it keeps throwing stuff at you because in general, Time Crisis games were really short. They were like 90 minutes, not even. But you could just endlessly replayable, and that's what I'm really hoping for.
Cornerstone City 777 says, House of the Dead VR. Sega, what are you doing not making these games in VR? Just to fill you in, if you missed the news, there is a team with 3 VR games in their resume, I should say, or whatever. Repertoire, yeah. That is actually working on a House of the Dead 1 and 2 remake. Because wasn't there something about the code getting lost for that?
Yeah.
For those original ones?
The first one,
well, they remade it for Wii, so at some point they must have found the code again, or they recreated it and they're redoing it from. I have House of the Dead 1 and 2 on Wii right behind me.
Okay.
Yeah.
1 and 2. Okay.
Yeah.
It's called House of the Dead 1 and 2 Return. And so at that point, if they had lost the code, I guess they probably recreated it for that.
I think
maybe they got something to work with.
Or maybe they found it, because for years that was what they were saying. It was like, we just don't have it. So,
but yeah, just wanted to fill you in on that. I can't wait to see. It's already rumored to have. It is pretty much rumored to be coming to PlayStation 4 and Xbox. Wait, Xbox? I don't remember.
Is there a release date for it?
No. It's rumored to be coming to PlayStation 4 and have Move support. So it's like you're so close, and you throw in the fact that this team has a VR background. It's like, come on, it has to be true. It has to be true. Especially with Sega licensing all their IPs lately. You know, Space Channel 5, Dragoon.
Panzer Dragoon.
Panzer Dragoon. Thank you. I don't know why I can remember.
That's what I'm here for.
And yeah, so this and that, Brian. This and that. Moving on. My dude that follows No Man's Sky keeps me updated on No Man's Sky so much. Procedural Traveler. What's up, dude? You and Captain Steve are awesome. They posted a tweet from Greg Buchanan, who basically said, have been a bit quiet about my game's work lately. So, pleased to announce I've been back writing various pieces of upcoming content for No Man's Sky. So we did talk about recently that No Man's Sky is going to have likely a summer update. They usually do. So it seems like they got like maybe a story, some story content incoming. And every time they add an update to this game that's significant like this, I really like it, like the Living Ship update.
Yeah, that was really cool. Real quick, somebody corrected me. The Wii remake is 2 and 3, not 1 and 2. And they think that they lost the source
that
code
makes more sense. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I goofed on that one. Sorry, guys. But
no worries.
I didn't want to correct you. You had me second guessing myself. I was like, I could just look back there, but I don't know.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you for the correction. But yeah, No Man's Sky, man. More story content. How you think they'll have another every single year? They've had a big update for No Man's Sky during the summer on their anniversary. You think they're going to do it again?
I mean, what do you guys?
Why not?
What are you guys
They'll
looking
just keep
for?
updating the hell out of this. So the thing is that when they give us updates, sometimes it's what people were asking for, like mechs. Other times it's something that no one thought of, like a ship that's alive,
right,
and you grow from an egg. So they're both cool.
People are asking for space whales.
Yeah, I want space whales, but I also want shit that we don't even know we want yet. I want them to keep coming up with weird ideas like that.
I want them to give me whatever they want to give me.
Now, I want to take a minute real quick, sidebar. There's a guy in the chat named Jason Jordan asking about funny games to play on VR. A lot of people gave him recommendations, and he wants to go with cat lateral damage over every other recommendation.
No.
And he said why when I told him no. Can we talk real quick about how every other funny game is better than cat lateral damage? Real quick. just to clear that up.
Real quick,
He should've-
cat
he should've
lateral
asked him a
damage.
tip.
Right. Real quick, cat lateral damage is a fun non-VR game, but the VR version of it has only teleportation. It is horrible teleportation, and the only good thing about it is they give you these giant, adorable cat paws to knock stuff off. But the locomotion system is terrible. It's not the same game. It's just called like a VR mode, and it's not fun at all. Don't waste your money. I would say if you want to play it on the flat screen, do it. But no, don't play in VR.
Yeah. But then there's stuff like Accounting Plus, Trevor Saves the Universe, the Job Sim, Vacation Sim games.
Yes.
All of these are very funny. We got some other, I think some other recommendations in here, but anything but cat lateral damage.
Yeah, I heard somebody say Just in Time Incorporated, and I think that's really funny.
Too, yeah,
Yeah.
really clever.
Maybe
game.
even Gorn, guys. Maybe even Gorn.
I guess we'll find
I
out.
heard it's out. Yeah. So, anyways, I'm looking. I agree with you guys. I like the living ship update has been like one of my favorite updates in a long time since the Beyond update. So I am hoping this is a new some sort of content related to that, because that was a fun like fetch kind of questing stuff. It introduced some new mechanics, and then it had like a cool story behind it that was voiced by the guy. It was voiced by Rutger Hauer in the trailer, and I think I don't think he did anything in the game, but yeah, rest in peace, my friend. Moving on. So I was playing Pixel Ripped 1995. I was going for the platinum, and we've already talked about Pixel Ripped 1995 a whole bunch. Both Brian and I both ended up giving it an 8 out of 10, and but I discovered something that I made a video on, and just wanted to see if just shed some light on that real quick. But essentially, there's a secret cave. You remember the secret cave that was blocked off?
Mm-hmm.
I think you can get to it after you beat the game. I think if you replay the game, that cave is open. It's either one of two things. It's either beating the game and then going back, and then the cave is open, or it's just running there as fast as you can, which is basically what I did both times. So it could be either one. But when you get to the end of the cave, it becomes there's a 9 in pixels, and you get rid of those, and there's another 9. So I have a feeling that the next one is going to be 1999, and DJ, one of the dudes, commented in one of my videos saying he spoke with Ana Ribeiro and them recently, and they said that it's going to be a trilogy, not 5 games.
Good.
So I think
that's excellent to hear.
I actually think that is better.
Yeah, I think they were kind of, I don't want to say they were running out of ideas, but I do feel like when we were playing 1995, it was like, okay, I really think they pushed the formula forward a little bit. They did some really cool things with this. It's not identical to 89, which we were all scared about, but I feel like we could be getting pixel rip fatigue if 1999 comes out like next year, or maybe even the year after. Like if they just take all of their ideas that they had for all 5 or the last 3 and just jam them into one game and make it super over the top and creative, I think that's a much, much better idea. I think I'd be kind of done after 99 anyway.
Yeah, they don't need to make 5 of this game, but 3 would be okay, especially because let's take a trip down memory lane here. I just Googled for fun games released in 1999. This is a trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. That's a good one that you just brought up. Quake 3 Arena, Silent Hill, Chrono Cross, Super Smash Brothers, Final Fantasy VIII, Grand Theft Auto 2, Crash Team Racing, all these Legacy of Kain, Soul River. Put that in there.
Sorry. I mean, yeah, I would love to see.
Gecko, baby, Gex 3.
I would love to see Dot with a red, or not a red bandana, but just a bandana or whatever headband, and do some stealth missions like Metal Gear Solid.
Oh, yeah. We've also got Siphon Filter and Crazy Taxi and Shenmue. There's so many good ideas. They can do anything with 1999.
This is a good way to go out with a bang for sure.
Yeah.
If it is just going to be a trilogy.
You guys remember Pepsi Man? Pepsi Man came out in 1999.
I try to forget.
Yeah. No, I mean, 1999 was the year the Dreamcast launched. 9999. And so, like, that is, in my book, 99 is like one of the last retro years left. Right, it's like I think if you start going past that at any point, it gets too close to the current gen, and it just like doesn't have that cool retro feel to it anymore. And I think if you go back to before '89, you lose too many gamers. Like the what are you gonna do with Intellivision
79.
and like Atari 2600 and
Yeah.
ColecoVision? I'm like, it's just you lose too many people with that.
If you started with that, maybe, like, and it let it evolve. But I think you're right, though. I think as much as I love this formula, I think it kind of loses a little like of its mystique a little bit each time. So it's kind of like a sacrifice. But that being said, still love the game. Yeah.
Sorry, I just thought of a pretty good idea, I think, for a spin-off Pixel Ripped game based on what Brian was just saying, or a parody of Pixel Ripped. You're just like a 50-year-old guy, 55, maybe 60, and the in-between parts of playing all the games in the VR game, are you just like digging through your old garage, finding your Intellivision, trying to get it hooked up, doesn't work with your TV, you got to go buy a new TV, hook it up, do all that shit, and then you get to play a game and it's not that fun, and you're like, oh, I remember these games aren't as good as I thought they were.
Yeah, so
And that's the disco thing too.
A disappointment. Yeah.
So suddenly Pixel Ripped is too realistic. It's like, damn,
Yeah, no, it's just
this shit is too hard to hook up, and these games aren't as good as I remember. I do like what Dan Kiefer said. He said the finale will be playing a Pixel Ripped game in a Pixel Ripped game. Like,
yeah, there you go.
That's
That's awesome.
perfect. Perfect finale.
All right.
Let's take care of that tip, though, before we move on.
Yep. Time to move on, but let's get those tips.
All right. First one
He won't stop. I'm sorry, I can't.
That's all right. It's just cutting out. I have no idea when he's stopping.
Yeah.
The first one comes from, I believe, Johnny Rypop the Stray Cat with the $2.79 Canadian donation saying, when you gonna tell us when Gorn comes out?
Actually, the first one, that's his second donation. The first one was, when is Gorn coming out?
Oh, is it?
Yeah. And then he tipped another one saying, when you gonna tell us when Gorn comes out?
Thank you very much, Johnny Rypop the Stray Cat.
There were some
Hit it
amazing
one more
puns
time.
in the Discord for Gorn and replacing old songs with Gorn lyrics.
Yeah.
What was it? Almighty Smeg. What was the lyric? Do you remember?
Me? Oh, no.
So, I don't know the actual lyrics of the song. Anyways, you should have been there. You guys should have been there. Join the Discord if you haven't.
Dave, hit that one more time.
Okay.
And that's Brad Out of Hell, the Game Cat Rare, with the Australian $10 donation saying, here they lie, separation, and Kowloon's Gate. Which world would you like to live in, Brian? And when's AJ's Aussie accent stream of Kowloon coming out? Is that a thing?
He likes it when I do my Aussie accent.
Oh,
That's not a knife.
Oh, no. Do we only have Australian knowledge from Crocodile Dundee movies? Is that what this is?
No, I had a best friend that lived in Australia. My old drummer was from Australia. So I can actually play a didgeridoo, and I'm halfway decent at throwing a boomerang, but it's very hard. Yeah.
I'm going to say, to answer the question, here they lie. Because the question is...
Because you were like, I'm freaky as hell, man. I want to live there.
Yeah, dude. I was like, when that dude with the antler or the fucking mask or whatever, like, when after all the bad guys, he was like following me through the tunnel and stuff, and I was like, oh fuck, he's following me, and then it turned out he just wanted to be my pet. I was like, yes, please, this is wonderful. I was like, this is about as Brian Paul as it gets. So yeah, here they lie for sure. I want to live in a sepia tone world, and I think do we have one more?
Get another tip.
Yeah, I think
this is our good friend Hugh Guyver. He says the Hugh and Mac pizza money attack. Pizza, dollar. I love that. That's really good.
That's wonderful. Thank
you. His MacGyver. If you guys are new
shout
here,
out to your cousin Mac.
Yeah, when are you? I asked Hugh Guyver in the comments. So when are you and Mac going to make a viewer takeover intro together?
Yeah, for real.
Yep. I mean,
splice it together.
If you're not working on that, you should be.
I know you got some old VHS tapes still with the series on it.
All right, what's our next news story, AJ?
All right, so moving on, The Persistence, Brian,
Hey.
One of our favorite games, a game that constantly makes the top 10 list.
Yeah.
ish.
Top 10 of the 20 list is what I meant to say. Has a flat release now. So congratulations to Fire Sprite Games. You said, I was like, why do you want to talk about this? It's a flat thing. And you said, well, you played it a little bit. And I was like, okay, I would like to hear some of your thoughts on it.
Yeah, I played it, so you don't have to. And I'm not saying that in a negative way at all. But unfortunately, it's exactly what you think it's going to be. It's the Persistence in non-VR. And I don't want that to sound negative, but it kind of is. Because here's... The gaze mechanic in VR works really well. Like you're walking around, you kind of look at something and you have it, or you open a wall or whatever, you open a door. There's something not right about that in non-VR. I walked up to a door and I had to look at the door, like, use the analog stick to
Oh, that's a pain in the ass.
aim at
Yeah,
it.
that's not...
I was like, I want to walk up and hit the X button. I want to walk up to items and hit the X button. And
Or
I
just automatically open.
or automatically open. Well, actually, no, because sometimes you want to hit the
Not
triangle.
for that game, yeah.
Right.
You don't. That's not exactly a game you want the doors automatically opening.
No, you want to time opening doors because there's often bad guys on the other side of it. And it just felt like I was like, oh man, this took a long time to come to non-VR. And I understand, because it's running in 4K at 60 FPS on the Pro. Like they optimized this thing, but they didn't really optimize it for a non-VR control scheme. And I'm walking around going, I just don't want to play it like this. And so I played it for about 10 minutes. Was like, yeah, this unfortunately isn't what I want. Switched to the VR mode, and I was like, "This is incredible!" Like, immediately fell back in love with the game. So, if you are thinking about buying the Persistence, just make sure you're playing it in VR because it's such a great game.
Yeah, I don't know how I mean, especially playing it first in VR, it would be very hard to go back and play it flat screen.
It makes me wonder what Mortal Legacy is like.
I do hope some people get to experience it, though. I'm a big System Shock 2 fan. I think that's like one of the best games of all time.
I think that game also came out in 1999, AJ.
Ooh.
Just saying. I think that was
perfect.
But Persistence was kind of like a similar System Shock in VR experience for me. And I know that team is working on other things. They also did, what the hell was that game? They did some new game that was very System Shock inspired, and then something. But yeah, I hope this game does well. There is a physical release, and now Persistence pops up as an add-on in the PlayStation Store.
Yeah, what the hell is that about? That was very strange.
Quick question, AJ.
Yeah,
there's a team working on System Shock 3. They just announced.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Do you think there's a potential we might get that in VR?
I was gonna look up the team.
Yeah,
but I didn't. So I don't know, and I don't think so.
Speculated about it at a future date, I think.
I would love to play System Shock in VR, but the Persistence definitely kind of like satisfied that urge, like so I don't need it as much. But System Shock 2, yeah, I would love to play like a remaster or something of that in VR for sure.
Yeah.
Or what's that? Soma. Soma is the one. I have Soma.
Soma's good.
And I haven't played it, and I want to play that.
I like Amnesia.
Amnesia's good.
Same team as Soma, right? I think. I
think so.
Yeah.
But Soma was one that I've been wanting to play for a while. But yeah, VR happened. And I was like, nah, never mind.
We keep reading Cornerstone City's comments. He said, did they ever patch Siren? They did not patch Siren. I talked to those devs right after the release, and I was like, we need to talk about how to fix your game. And they were like, yeah, we're definitely looking into it. Never been patched. It's like, oh no, your game still sucks after all this time. It's really unfortunate. Siren could have been a little bit fun at least. All right. So yeah, very, very happy for Firesprite. Very happy for Switch owners and Xbox owners who finally get to play this game. But if you do have a PlayStation 4, make sure you play this the way it's meant to be played, and that is in VR.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I do think with the Switch controls, they might have been able to come up with a cool like gyro face aiming thing where you like tilt it towards the thing you want, you click. You know what I mean? Because some games have that where like your movement, your vision is based on tilting.
Movement. Did you say it's on Switch as well?
Yeah.
Persistent?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, actually, Perp Games is publishing all physical copies from this point on.
This will be their first Switch game then, right?
I think so, yeah. Pretty sure.
Interesting. Good for you, Perp.
Good for you, Perp. All right.
All right. So we didn't have any tips, right? So, nope. Moving on. We've got Beat Saber has announced up on the Twitters. They tweeted new content coming next week with a little sirens going on. 46 new beat maps across 18 songs equals 10 new 90-degree levels each, plus 26 new One Saber levels. Guys, I kind of tend to forget about One Saber levels, but they're actually pretty fun. Have you tried them out very much or anything?
They're usually hard. I mean, they're usually very hard for the most part, even though it's just one color. They really make you swing your arm like crazy. But I'm excited to try more of them out. And also some people out there, you know, maybe only have use of one hand and they've asked before, hey, can I still play Beat Saber? So what you've always had to say is a few songs. You can play a few songs, and they're by default pretty hard. But with this update, maybe that expands that, accessibility wise, and more people who are, disabled in one hand or missing an arm or something can actually get into it and play it.
Yeah. We have a couple game cats with some injured arms.
Yeah.
Shout out to you guys still playing VR games with us. We were playing like Rush. Oh, I should have mentioned Rush. Damn it.
Oops.
But yeah, because we had a blast. And you could have mentioned Werewolves Within, Dave.
Yeah.
But yeah, now these 90-degree levels, however, are like next level. There's some pretty next level stuff. Brian, you and I were talking about like how we haven't really gotten into that yet as much.
No, absolutely. I played. I think when they first dropped it, I played one of them on easy, and I was like, "Wow, this is really easy." But I'm sure it's because it was on easy. And since then, I've been like, "Well, you know what? I'm not very good at this game," and so I've been, rededicating myself, as I told you earlier in the show, to getting better at the game, and basically trying to get to expert on one song per week, and eventually make some decent progress. And that's the best I've got right now, man. I don't know if I could. I don't know if I could really do the 90-degree stuff on any higher levels, but I'll give it a shot. We'll be able to talk about it a lot more next week.
I do think it adds a lot to the game, even though I don't play it as much. And Cass, let us know. Do you guys play a lot of those 90-degree levels? Like, does anybody like really get into those? I think it's really cool. I think it adds a great dynamic, but I definitely find myself playing Ghost Notes first. Ghost Notes have become my new obsession.
You're insane.
I love Ghost Notes.
Ghost Notes are ridiculous.
Notes. There's enough stuff out there for crazy people to have a good time.
Talking about crazy, what did you just do recently, AJ, with Ghost Notes? You just what song you just beat on Expert Plus with Ghost Notes?
It was Rum and Bass.
You're insane. Absolutely insane. I can't.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, insane.
A lot of the cats do, man. Delirium Drew.
Yeah, Drew's also insane. Just because there's a lot of you who are crazy doesn't make you any less crazy.
It's fun, man. There's something about Ghost Notes I just really like. I don't know what it is, but I do need to get back into the 90-degree levels a little bit more.
Yeah.
Oh shit, guys, we got our first Gorn casualty in the chat. David Soto says, "Guys, I smashed my guitar hanging on the wall playing Gorn." Fuck, that's R.I.P. man. I hope.
What kind of guitar was it?
Hopefully, it wasn't an acoustic. I feel like an electric would probably hold up better in that situation.
The word "smash" doesn't give me much hope for
either one.
Yeah.
Man, I can just picture your hand going right through the body of an acoustic. Like, oh man, what a bad feeling. Well, sorry, man, that sucks.
And for Gorn, no less.
Yeah, be careful out there, guys.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, so that's going to be coming next week. So yeah, you guys better start practicing your 90-degree levels and your one-handed levels. You guys try out those one-handed. If you're not crazy about the 90-degree, try out those one-handed. You'll like them. They're pretty cool. Depending on the song, some of them really hurt your wrist, but then others are fine. I don't know. So be careful.
Do me a favor and talk about Beat Saber for like 30 more seconds.
If you experience any wrist pain, stop playing.
Here's my question. How come we've never made a dirty joke about one-hand mode?
One-handed Beat Saber?
Yeah, one-handed Beat Saber. I feel like there's plenty of jokes to be made there.
Do you ever sit on your hand and let it go numb and then play Beat Saber?
Feels like someone else is playing it.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's where the Ghost Notes come from.
Hey, there you go.
All
right, was that 30 seconds?
I mean, it was close. I'll take what I can get. Yeah.
Doing my best here.
Okay.
All right. So another news. Speaking of separation, like our good buddy mentioned, separation is getting some more, some more, not necessarily content, but some additions to it. Martin over at Recluse Industries posted a little video that says "Siren of the Crows Separation Future Update," and it's got this like siren girl like looking around as the crows are flying around, and she looks pretty damn cool.
Yeah.
So I would like to see. I would definitely like to see some new, some content added to this game. I want to see like when you beat the game or something, or get near the end, that big robot thing starts walking around. But yeah, excellent. Like, how cool would that be to see? While, spoiler alert, but you all should have played Separation or whatever by now. There is a hot air balloon that's really amazing in the game.
Yeah.
And I would love to be flying around in that hot air balloon with like that giant robot walking around. But good to see that he's still working on this game.
You know what's really funny to me too? Side note: the fact that came out with the hot air balloon right around the same time that Paper Beast came out, that also has a hot air balloon. I was like, did you guys know this was going to happen? Because there are no other games in VR where you just accidentally end up, you just like walk up and you're like, oh, I'm in a hot air balloon. Holy shit! I guess.
And the funny thing is that, I mean, Separation did it so well. Like the feeling of being in the hot air balloon, and Paper Beast was like,
you're barely controlling the thing. You're just kind of wobbling it around a little bit.
Yeah, they try to make you think. Yeah.
Some people did like the Paper Beast hot air balloon. They were like, that blew my mind. I was like, dude, to be honest with you, I had just played Separation.
Yeah.
Like right before this, and that has the best hot air balloon in like any game I can even think of, because it's an open world with no loading screens, and you get to control it. Versus Paper Beast, which is like a transition into the next level.
Right.
And you look out, and it doesn't really look that great. Like it's just some dirt and some mountains. There's other things I really liked about the game, but not those moments.
Paper Beast makes you tries to give you the illusion of control that you can pull left and right as if you're going someplace, as if you have some kind of control over it. But Separation, you've just explored this entire world, and you're like, man, look, there's been over the last 5 hours, there's been so many places that I've been looking around, like, man, I wish I could get up there, but all I can do is walk around and use this boat, and then finally, you're just like, blows the whole world wide open. It was so well timed and so well paced at that point, where I'm like, man, I was like, just when I was like, I think I've seen everything this world has to offer, they go, nope. Now you have access to all of the mountaintops, all of the...
It's like that Metroidvania moment where you realize that the world is much bigger than you thought because you have a new ability. Like the boat opens things up a lot because you're like, oh, I can get over there. There's water between us now. I can get there. And then you get the hot air balloon, like you said, and you're like, oh, there's shit hidden everywhere that I didn't even know.
Yeah.
And I can see it from all the way up here. It's really cool.
Yeah.
But enough about hot air balloons, right? Let's move on to the next.
He mentioned he did mention something earlier as well. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
Oh, by the way, real quick, it's a Taylor acoustic that he punched his hand through.
Yeah, that's an expensive guitar. That sucks.
We're so sorry.
That was like the best acoustic you could get back in the day. He said updated. Oh wait, no, that's from January. Adding joystick navigation to the options menu. It's just easier than gazing at buttons in VR.
I've played this game through probably 3 times now from beginning to end, and every single time I start that initial menu screen, I'm always pushing the button. I'm like, oh crap, that's not access to menu.
Yeah.
Which is so it's a small update, but it's good. I'm glad, he's still working on it, because I mean, any updates to Separation is one of my favorite games of the year. So anything he's going to give us, I'm happy with.
All right. Speaking of happy. We got an announcement of a new game by Wolf and Wood, the makers of The Exorcist VR, and a chair in a room, which I really like, and it's called Hotel RNR.
Coming fast on the heels of Gorn, which is looks like a less full-featured version of the same type of thing. Honestly, Hotel RNR has a lot of environments. It seems like a lot of different items to interact with, and you have like fish as a weapon, and you slap shit around in your hotel room and break it. And it sounds like it's like mission oriented, like this level 1, go do this to this hotel room. Level 2, it's a different hotel room, do this to it. So I think it could take that sort of silly, just beat shit up for fun VR game like Gorn, Rage Room, whatever, and actually elevate it a little bit to something that feels like more worth $20 or $30,
Yeah. Yeah, this is. I mean, looking at the trailer, there's just so much variety, and there's a lot to do. I hope they blow this out of the water, because we really need one that's good. It's just this looks like it's Job Simulator, but you can actually destroy shit.
And it should be said, AJ, in terms of your black metal interests, I think you're getting missions from the devil in this game.
Just metal. I
I
like heavy and loud things. Okay,
it's a little satanic, because from what I heard, you get
nothing to do with Satan.
The devil. You get missions from the devil, is what I'm trying to say.
That is pretty funny, though.
I like that.
No, that sounds great. I know my dude Joe Mojo, who's in the death metal band, one of our game cats, has been stoked for this game. And Wolf and Wood actually posted a quiz. It said lockdown quiz time. Who's the influence for all these rock and roll cliches? It's got a dude crashing a car or parking a car into like a building, blowing up a toilet with a cherry bomb, blowing up a Marshall stack, it looks like, with some like C4 or something, and then throwing Joe Mojo actually got it right, and he said Keith Moon and Keith Richards, but it was Keith Moon, the drummer of the Who was like crazy as hell.
I just had a big thought. So you know that story about Led Zeppelin and like the fish or like the baby shark or something with the.
Tell me
I remember the shoe. I remember the one about the shoe. That was really
I think
gross.
it's Led Zeppelin. There's some 70s rock band that was super popular, and there's some story about them in a hotel room, like doing something sexual to a groupie with like a fish or like somebody in the chat will know the story.
Are you talking about? You're not talking about Motley Crue, are you?
Maybe it's Motley Crue. I don't know. It's one of those bands, but they did something with the fish, and I think maybe that's why the fish is in the game, because it's like they did it in a hotel. It's a rock and roll game. It's like a throwback to like the fish.
Nothing with Motley Crue involved a fish, but believe it or not, I've actually read a couple of these like biographies by some of these bands. Like what was it, like Kiss, Motley Crue? Motley Crue has this book called The Dirt, and it is absolutely an incredible book. And you just hear all the crazy shit they do. And that's what this game kind of is like kind of living the life of one of these old school rock stars that used to trash the place. I've smashed a bass guitar before. I had a bass die on me, or my bass amp just died in the middle of a show, and I just like smashed it with the bass. And then later, I don't know, things got a little crazy, kind of threw it off the roof of the house into the fire pit. But that's like something you want to do. But yeah, slapping somebody with a fish, that's like something I've always dreamed of.
Yeah, so I just confirmed this. Led Zeppelin were fishing for trouble in the Edgewater Inn in Seattle during their first U.S. tour. Some have said a shark was involved, while others have claimed a red snapper. But it's apparently true that some of the members of Led Zeppelin, their road managers, and members of Vanilla Fudge were all involved in using a fish they had caught to penetrate a young groupie. That's the story. So I think that might be why they included that. I think that's funny.
So
pretty much. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
In the chat, Jason Jordan said they did that on purpose.
And
then David Soda said, watch The Dirt on Netflix. Awesome movie as well. I agree with that. I watched it, and I have no interest in Motley Crue. It was great.
I didn't know they had a movie on it.
Yeah, no, this is good. A lot of great comments going on in the chat.
Basically, the Motley Crue thing was all saying like, the whole book. You think Motley Crue's like the craziest people ever, and then they meet Ozzy Osbourne, and then like Ozzy just puts them to shame in every single way. And now you know why Ozzy is just such this legend and just this crazy ass dude, because of the stuff he did. Absolutely amazing. Dankeeper says, AJ, my brother separated at birth. But yeah, man, this is the life of the rock star, man. This is a cool thing. Everybody has dreamed about doing this at some point or another, I think.
And I think we neglected to mention that this game is coming out next week.
It's next week.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So that's
so
awesome.
Soon.
Yeah, so, we just had one physics-based game come out, and now we got another physics-based game coming out. And dude, Wolf and Wood so far, what I'm familiar with is The Exorcist Legion VR, which I absolutely love, Chair in a Room, which I absolutely love, but this is like totally different for them, so I can't wait to see what this is all about. I don't feel
it's good to see the devs shift gears like that and prove they have some variety, you know what I mean? Because this is the opposite end. Like, those are serious, dark, gritty horror games.
Absolutely.
There's no humor in any of it at all, and this is just silly, stupid fun, it looks like.
Yeah.
So
hopefully it comes across with like the same level of polish. They get it's
I like the part how there's like good.
No, you go.
I was gonna say I like the part in the trailer how they actually show there's like some monsters and stuff. So it's got this, like, if you remember like Tony Hawk Underground 2 and stuff had these like weird tacky quests to do, like side quests. Like, you'd meet a dude and he'd be like, hey, my thing happened in the thing, and you'd have to go like help him. It seems like it's got some weird stuff like that. Like, there's actually it shows some clips in this trailer where there's like some monsters and stuff. So that's going to be the interesting part to me. There's monsters, Brian. There might be a little horror element.
The interesting part to me is that kind of a throwback to what we were talking about earlier in the show. I felt like the first couple games they made were, they were great in VR because they were way scarier in VR, but I didn't feel like they really took a ton of advantage of the VR medium. I feel like this might change that. I feel like this is way more VR designed, like way of a focus on VR. Whereas I think The Exorcist and Chair in Room definitely could have worked without the VR. This I don't think it could.
Yeah, and you love throwing stuff in VR. So you excited about this?
Picking shit up and throwing it in VR is my second favorite thing to do in VR.
Yeah.
What's your first favorite thing to do? Hang out with an anime lady?
Getting scared shitless.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man! Cannot wait for this. Really excited. Yeah, this can be good. And I we'll see what happens. We should be taking a look pretty soon.
Yeah, hopefully very
And they
soon.
make Wolfenwood's good. Wolfenwood makes good games.
Yeah.
So
All
far,
right, what do we got?
Fingers crossed, 2 out of 3.
What
Yeah.
do we got next?
All right. So next, we had an update. We're on to the updates now. Espire 1 VR Operative got an update, a real update this time, and it actually happened. A real thing that downloaded and made improvements. And yeah, it's called the Assimilation Update, and it fixed a lot of things in the game, man. It fixed it improved the lighting, and they said they improved the lighting from basically every level. Like that beginning part where you do the switch. Anyways, we'll get to that in a second.
Wait, was the problem the lighting? Who cared about the lighting? The problem was the game's boring and the AI is dumb as shit. Did they fix any of that?
They actually did fix the AI. So the lighting, AI, and then they added new challenges.
Well, they fixed the AI. I mean, they may have improved the AI, but yeah. So
I thought it was pretty improved.
I mean, I didn't play nearly as long as you did, so my impressions are.
I would say, cat shit is an improvement over dog shit in terms of it being easier to clean up.
Wow.
You know what I mean? What's the bar for how much it's improved? Is it still shit like the AI?
So like how a lot of the chat is pointing out, it still has, this is the big thing, is that it still has audio issues. Like there's like 1,000 footsteps walking around, and the problem is the 3D audio is really bad, so that it's like there's a million footsteps going right in front of you. That's one bad thing. The other bad thing is that when you get caught, it's still not like super punishing in some parts. Now, that was more towards the beginning, so maybe it would feel a little bit better. But no, I think the lighting, guys, this update, I still think it needs some work. I still think the audio needs to be fixed. But I thought this update was the first major improvement on the game. And I actually was having a better stealth experience with it.
Okay.
We also have people in the chat, though, saying you can still ignore stealth entirely, just run through the whole game and just shoot everybody in the face. And I saw you get approached by 3 guys during your stream, AJ, and you literally just punched them all in the face, and they all got knocked out. Yeah. That's not a stealth game. If 3 guys surprise you by being in a group, you should not survive, or you should be running for your life. You shouldn't be able to walk up and go, bop, 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 and then move on. It's not a stealth game even now. No. So just keep that in mind. We got some tips also, by the way. You want to hit these tips? 2 in a row?
Go do it up.
All right. Uncle JC, $10. Late to the cast, playing the Iron Man demo and missed the notification. That's not a bad reason to miss the first part of the Gamecast. Meow meow, scratch scratch. Thank you, Uncle JC. And somebody want to grab the next one?
It's related. You might as well stop using that at this point until we get your mic fixed. Maybe we'll fix it after the stream because it sucks right now.
This one's from Joe Grover, the effing Game Cat, with a $5 donation saying, I've had Espire on my system for months. Not going to play it till you guys say do it. Got it before I knew better and knew about this channel. Joe Grover, thank you for trusting our opinions so very much. If I can...
You might have to hold out hope for a long time.
Well, I did ask them, I did talk to them and said, does this, I asked them on Twitter when they announced this update, and I said, does this include any audio? What's going on?
Brian's making a weird face, and I don't know why.
Sorry, I was following my mouse around the screen. I was trying to, it was a visual gag. It's not very often. We
didn't get it because I can't see your mouse, so I don't know. I thought I said something, and you were like making a big react. Like, what? I
was hoping you guys would just keep talking while I goofed off in the corner.
You're supposed to do that without getting caught, Brian.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
But I think I would, if they fixed the audio and if they made it more punishing to get caught, then I would 100% recommend this game. Until they do that, I'm like, well, some people are going to enjoy it and some people aren't, because that audio still is an issue. But like I said, I was very impressed with the lighting. I mean, like you said, what was the first thing that happened? You start the level and it says pull the switch and you can't even see the switch. And now, lo and behold, you can see the switch.
Yeah.
And I thought the lighting looked a lot better. There were some textures that used to be like super blurry and stuff, like cardboard boxes and stuff. They'd have like a logo and it was like really bad. And I thought a lot of this was improved.
So can I ask you, did you go through the art gallery part? Because I remember walking into the art gallery and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? You're calling this a painting? This is 120p JPEG that's been like converted 3 times. This looks terrible. Like,
I don't think it was anything like super impressive, but it was definitely improved. It was definitely improved, but it wasn't atrocious like it used to be. I'm trying to be positive here, guys. I think
the baseline is clear here so that people know when we're saying, hey, it's way better.
Right.
We're talking about it's way better
There's
than the
still some
baseline,
things.
which is way down here. It's like here now.
Right.
Saints and Sinners is out of my camera range. You can't even. It's way up here.
Yeah.
This game is still just a little bit better than it was, but it still sucks, to be honest.
So here's where I'm at. All right, I didn't spend a ton of time with this game. I do want to review this game soon. I feel like we've given them more than enough time to finally get their game to where it's supposed to be. I feel like this is pretty much where they meant to launch the game. I will 100% agree that it is not a stealth game. You can play it stealthy, but there's absolutely no repercussions for not playing it stealthy. So it's not a stealth game. But as a first-person shooter where you can climb walls, I will say that I think it looks a lot better. I think the lighting is really nice. It's got kind of a softer look to it now, and it's just AJ and I were talking on the phone, and I think I had said something that you said on your stream, and I didn't even realize it. I said I'm able to forgive some things that a game does if it looks pretty enough. Like if I'm walking around and I'm like, hey, this looks pretty good, and there's some control issues, or there's this or there's that, I'm like, I can kind of forgive it, and it's starting to look prettier, and that helps. I'm not a graphics whore, but I absolutely appreciate that this game is looking decent now, and if the rest of my experience with this game is as good as my new playthrough that I just started, this is like kind of around a 7 for me. Like, it sucks in the stealth element, but I was having fun, and I did not have fun the first time I played it. So, does it suck as a stealth game? Yes. Does it suck as a game? I don't think it does anymore. I think it's just below average.
I mean, this is supposed to be the thing for people who like Metal Gear Solid, who like sneaking around.
No.
Like, AJ, don't shake your head like that. That's how they marketed it.
That is what they marketed, and I think that was a huge mistake on Upload VR's part for saying this is Metal Gear Solid meets GoldenEye 007.
Right, and then they used it in the trailer.
Huge mistake.
AJ, the developers wanted people to think that. They wanted people to say that.
Because it was inspired by it.
Were inspired by Metal Gear Solid and wanted to make a stealth game. They failed. This is maybe a decent first-person shooter game, but if you want what it's supposed to be, Metal Gear Solid VR, this is nowhere in the ballpark.
Please don't. It just hurts just to hear people say that.
All I'm saying is
we're all in agreement, man. Absolutely.
We are in agreement here.
You guys like it, despite it not being at all.
Because I played it recently and saw the improvements, and I'm like, okay, I'm starting to see now. Look, if you look at it as an indie game, and that is trying to be a good stealth game,
there are so many indie stealth games that are
that bar of.
Many indie stealth games that are good.
They're much better, yes. The problem, this game has two fatal flaws right now. One, the audio. Two, is that you have to force yourself to be stealthy. And if you get caught, there's nothing really that bad about it. But when I was actually sneaking around, and you got to remember, they added more challenges as well, and they tweaked the AI. So these guys aren't just bundled up in groups going, "Oi, we're going to get you. It's your bad day, buddy." There you go, Brad out of hell. But now they actually are like spread apart. They're a little bit more like monitoring the halls and stuff a little bit better, which is much better. It's because before they'd just be like, they'd be awful. The AI was so dumb, and it's slightly better. And so, yes, if you get caught, it's not punishing, but it's still like if you play stealthily, like you can somewhat play in like a stealthy way. So yeah, is it flawed? Very much so. but I'm saying there still is an improved stealth experience here.
Yeah, it's still the game is getting better, and I actually got to say, I'm like, if I was Tripwire, or I'm sorry, if I was Digital Load, I would have fucking ran so far away from this game after dropping it, because it was so far from anything worth recommending, and there was just too much work to put into it, and the fact that they stuck with it and they're still sticking with it is really surprising. And the fact that this newest update, which they actually named Assimilation, to be like, hey, we're really making changes, is great. Again, not a great stealth game, but it's becoming kind of a fun game. So, yeah.
Becoming better.
Yeah.
It's getting there.
Anyway.
The challenges were good, too. The challenges, not one where you're collecting intel, but the one with, like, the target practice was pretty cool.
Since we're doing relevant tips without pausing, Robbie B, the Image Game Cat, says the combat challenge is how they should have marketed it, which is, I guess, true, because when you were playing, it looked like the combat challenges were way more fun than the actual stealth gameplay, which is kind of totally ass backwards. Like, that's not how it should be, but that's how it is.
Well, so, I do like jumping around and seeing how fast you can go through a course, and you have to sneak behind everybody and go freeze. And like the voice thing actually works like on the first try now, like it didn't before. It used to you have to say freeze like 8 times. So those are a nice little stealth, some good stealth gameplay. But yeah, the combat challenges were cool because you just run in and you just shoot everybody, and it would be better if there was like a cover system, or if you had to cover, or if they took cover, something like that, where they popped out, took cover and then popped out and then like shot at you. That would definitely be like an improvement over what it is right now, versus just kind of running at you and dying.
So they've got a long way to go, but they've also come a long way. So
guys,
looking forward to the future.
To stop talking about Espire 1 because we still have a lot to get to, and Gorn and Iron Man, and this game doesn't deserve the amount of time we just spent talking about it. It's better than it used to be, but it's still not good in my opinion.
Did you play it yet, Dave?
No, but I saw you guys play it. I'm not gonna go back to it. I don't want to. Like, I don't like this game. I never liked this game, and I saw the improvements from watching your guys' streams. Whoa, where did music just come from?
Which is good.
Oh my god! I was on that Led Zeppelin page. I was on that Led Zeppelin website still, and then out of nowhere, it started playing an ad with music. Totally freaked me out.
I don't hear music. I see music.
No, it was just me. All right. Cool. Synesthesia. Let's move on.
All right. Well, since Dave is ready to move on, Biotec, we got another update in Biotec for Contagion VR. Essentially this is the long-awaited Chapter 4, supposed to be the longest chapter yet. And unfortunately, Brian's going to have to kind of take the lead on this one because he's played the most of it. I fell through the floor 4 times and wasn't able to play it. However, they did patch that today, and I tried it again, and I did get about 20 minutes into it.
All right. Well, the patch fixed your problem. I'm really happy to hear that.
Yes.
I didn't have a problem. That's what's crazy about some of these bugs. Some people get them, some people don't, and God only knows why. But if anybody saw my live stream of Biotech, it was kind of a shit show. I was listening to the chat instead of listening to the characters in the game, and very frequently that can cause problems. So you're like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing right now. I don't know what the story's all about, and so simple things can get really complicated. And also, the other thing about that stream was that when I first played Contagion, when it first came out, I was like, man, these controls suck. Like, they're just not implemented very well at all. For some reason, triangle, or was it square? I forget. Opens drawers, opens doors, opens anything that you can get your hands on. And then when you get to a locker, I'm like, how come I can't open a locker? And you have to hit the trigger. Like, it's just stupid things like that where you're like, this opens everything else. Why doesn't this open this thing? Stupid shit like that. And so when I finally get to so I didn't spend enough time reacclimating to the controls before doing the live stream, which meant it was messy. It wasn't, I don't think it was fair to the developers who spent so much time making this update. And then when I finally encountered like a group of zombies, I died, and because I didn't know like even how to reload my weapon, because I just I just wasn't there, you know. Like, and I was like, and at that point, I was so frustrated and so tired of trying to get used to the controls while people were watching that I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna call this quits. But what I will say,
okay, go ahead. Sorry.
What I will say is, I think this is the best part of Contagion VR, because prior to this, the best part of Contagion VR was when you were in the apartment building in the first level.
Yeah,
I think everything, like, even when you leave the apartment building, the quality really starts dipping, and it's just not nearly as much fun from that point on. I think this is probably at the same level. Everything I've seen in Biotech is at the same level that the apartment was in episode 1. I think this is if they continue bringing content to Contagion, this is the direction they should head in, where it's creepy, you know, as far as it's as scary as Contagion can be scary, right? They did fine. And if you already have Contagion, this is absolutely worth diving back in and spending your time with.
So, just out of curiosity, as somebody who hasn't played, doesn't own Contagion, didn't get a key, anything like that, these new chapters, when they add, like, you know, Chapter 4 DLC, it's free, right?
Mm-hmm.
A, number one. B, do you have to play through sequentially to get to it, or can you just hop right into Chapter 4 if you want
99% sure you can just access this from the main menu, even if you haven't played the rest.
Yeah. Because, like you said, if there's one of them that's like kind of a shitty escape room level, and like there are parts that aren't as exciting. So if you can just click into Chapter 1, click into Chapter 4, and experience the good meat of the game, that makes me interested in actually picking it up and checking it out.
Yeah.
Because it looked okay. I mean, when you first played it, like you said, it didn't really sell me too well on the game. But I wish AJ was here, because he actually knows more about it than I do. A lot more about it, because he's played it. So I'm kind of useless for the moment, but maybe we'll get AJ back soon.
Yeah.
Get any thoughts in the meantime?
Yeah, I'm actually gonna do another live stream of this, hopefully tomorrow. Because I do think that this deserves a fair shake, and like I said, I do think that that Monochrome really got their act together for this one, and was like, oh wow, okay, this is what people wanted. They wanted more of level 1, and they delivered, you know. And I'm not even to the point where, you know, you can see I don't know if it's in this trailer that's playing right now, but you can see at one point you're on the top of like a Jeep with a turret mounted, where you're like shooting zombies as the car's moving, and
sounds awesome,
right? And I'm like, and I haven't gotten to that point yet, so I am gonna drop back in tomorrow, reacclimate to the controls, and then start the live stream, and we'll get a better idea of what this update's all about.
So while I think the controls are a little wonky, especially after playing Saints and Sinners, I did get used to them pretty quickly. And like, once again, and it is kind of weird that, like, you know, things you grab with the trigger or you grab something with the trigger, and then you grab something else with like the square or whatever. So one thing I like about this game, I will, as a critique, I will say this: it's definitely not like pro supported. It looks like it's a little blurry, but the cinematic feel that they go for, like the B horror movie that they go for, I think is pretty cool. And you can tell that this is a small team, but you can also tell that they put a lot of effort into this update as advertised, which I do appreciate. I got about 20 minutes in. Like I said, I got up to where you're basically you're trying to unlock some stuff or get access. And by getting access, you go up to a desk, and the dude has the access locked behind a game that you have to play. So it's like similar to like Pixel Ripped. You pick up these two controllers, and did you notice the controllers look like a mix of...
They look like Quest controllers.
They look like Quest controllers, but they have a bulb on them, like the PSVR, like the Move controllers. Oh. So it's like some like hybrid thing.
They didn't have that when I was playing.
Oh, really?
They must have added that.
It was some weird like hybrid Quest Move thing, and you basically have to press the triggers, and you play this. If you've ever played those Tunnel Runner games, where, you know, even dating back to like Atari, where it's like you don't, or like even the TI-80 whatever calculators, you have to like use the two triggers to steer left and right, and then like not hit the wall, and then get to the end of the little maze or whatever. I thought that was really cool and creative. So I can't wait to get back into this as well and finish it up, because I'm liking what I'm seeing so far.
Nice. Yeah.
All right. So it sounds like a general thumbs up. It improved the game, made it better. Let's remind people, what is the price? in PSN right now.
$25.
$25.
Yeah.
You think with the Chapter 4, it is a complete package worth $25.
Well, our friend Balloon Key in the chat, who helped me through my last Resident Evil stream along with David Moore, said that the developers are going back and kind of reworking on level 2, which I was like, oh man, level 2 is more of what I'm looking for, but just not as well done. And so if they can kind of smooth that level out and just make it maybe a little creepier, a little scarier, kind of get rid of the escort mission, that thing was terrible. I mean, I think it needs just a little bit more work, and then I'd be like, you know what, drop the price down $20, and it's a buy.
Yeah, to me, this game is like a solid 2, like where, you know, either on sale or like something you just are absolutely into.
Yeah.
And yeah, you know, it still has like some things that, like I said, you can tell it's from a small team, but they definitely put a lot of great effort into this. And yeah, I can't wait to see the rest of this, especially if there's like some action sequences, like you were saying, where you're like grabbing a turret on top of a car, stuff like that. And yeah, it's got some redeeming values to it.
Yeah. I mean, buy Saints and Sinners first.
Yeah.
You know, like you need a good zombie game.
Or
even Arizona Sunshine, I'm sorry, even when it's on sale for $12, still unfortunately better than Contagion. But those are my recommendations. Get those 2 games first, and then be like, I need more zombies in my life. Get a Contagion sale.
Yeah, I hope it goes on sale soon so more people can check it out.
Yeah,
as long as they know what they're getting. I think it's pretty cool.
AJ, I think the entire next news story is all on you.
Well, there's not going to be much news. There is an update coming to Gran Turismo Sport, which they are adding they post on Twitter that said GT Sport Update 1.59 is on its way, bringing the addition of the Mazda RX Vision GT3 concept and 7 GT League rounds. Get ready to experience Mazda's vision of the ultimate rotary sports car. So this is a concept car that they're adding. It looks, you don't have the new trailer, do you?
No.
Of it. If go to my Twitter or Gran Turismo's Twitter and look at the trailer that they have for this thing, they did a lot of work on a new trailer for it, and this thing looks badass. But yeah, every time Gran Turismo Sport, I mean, like I said, I got to give them tons of props for adding these new cars, because that is one of my favorite things about Gran Turismo is how different every car feels. So last time was like the Toyota one. Unfortunately, this update is not out yet, though. So it may be kicking off over the weekend or whenever this league starts. So I was expecting it to be available by now. But yeah, I jumped in earlier. You can actually buy the car from the store, the PlayStation store, but the update is not in the game, so it wouldn't even matter.
Why can we see Dave's desktop instead of him?
And he's got Jet Moto 3.
Well, I was scared he was going to show something.
I think Dave is screen sharing Jet Moto 3. Why are you doing this to me, Dave? I've beaten Jet Moto 3. I like Jet Moto 3. I was the only person. 1999. Jet Moto would be a cool one, man. Well, that looked weird with all that like super window thing.
That was weird.
Yeah, sir. I was just trying out that new feature, but I saw that. I thought it was kind of funny. I know how you like your Jet Moto.
I do love Jet Moto, and Jet Moto 3 is actually really good. But it didn't. I think it was like the last one and didn't do so well. And then they started making Jet Moto 4, which I actually have an ISO link to play Jet Moto 4, but it got canned. But you can still play it.
But would you want to? But would you want
yes,
to? No,
absolutely.
No,
that's why I have the link.
I like Jet Moto, man. Jet Moto's great. Brian, you're the only guy here who does that great.
Dude, I played the crap out of Jet Moto 1, and I was like, that's about as much Jet Moto as I need in my life.
Most people like 2. I like 1 the most. 3 is the one that I think is the smoothest and most playable. Anyways, what the hell were we talking about?
Can we get a takeover that's all questions about Jet Moto, please? Submit all your Jet Moto questions in the viewer takeover with the hashtag.
You guys are doing viewer takeover without me next week.
Robbie B says Gran Turismo VR is fucking awful. Quality looks like cataracts in your eyes. What?
You should play Drive Club, man. That thing looks like shit.
Yeah. Have you played any of the other ones?
I-
Also, you played on a Pro?
Like the way Drive Club looks.
Blurry, muddy.
It looks beautiful.
Textureless.
The car interiors look amazing.
What's funny about Drive Club is the multiplayer actually looked better than the single player. I don't know what was up with
you're on
that.
crack. I think you have decided this is a thing, and
Well-
it's not a thing.
Yeah, and guess what? We'll never be able to prove it.
Yeah. And that's fine, because now I can just make fun of you for thinking that, even with no proof that I could be wrong. Yeah.
But yeah, so I was hoping to get to talk about this update. When this comes out, I will be streaming the new car when it comes out, whenever that is. I imagine pretty soon. But the car looks beautiful. Trailer looks beautiful. And yeah, this thing looks fast. And I like Mazdas. Mazdas are fun to drive.
Oh my God.
Zippy.
AJ, I'm looking at the run of show. Is this true? Have we arrived? Is the moment finally upon us?
Let me take a look.
I think the moment is finally upon us. 1 hour and 35 goddamn minutes.
Yeah.
Are we ready?
usually do these for 3 hours. So the Iron Man VR demo came out.
Yeah, it did. Fuck yeah, it did. That's what everybody's waiting to hear us talk about.
Why don't you take it away, Dave?
Oh, well, I played it, I finished it like right before the game's cast. I didn't go back and have a chance to do it again and like replay the combat test and I was really bad at the speed time trial thing. They want you to do it in like 38 seconds. I think I was like 2 minutes.
Absolutely insane.
The one thing I'll say about it is that at first the controls are going to feel weird, but the experience is awesome. And when you start to think about it in real life, just remember you're not a plane flying around. It's not Ace Combat 7. You're a guy moving with things on the bottom of your hands. So when you go like this, you move forward. When you go like this, you hover in the air. When you go like this, you go backwards. It's a little, you got to get used to it. But it feels like you're Iron Man when you end up moving, because like he does shit like that. He'll just hover up in the air, kind of float around, shoot a guy, zip over this way. He's not flying like an airplane the whole time. You know what I mean? It feels very true to the Marvel character, like, and the movie character. I thought the dialogue was pretty snappy. There were some cool little, Marvel kind of snarky lines in there. Don't know if I like the voice actor that much. He reminds me more of a Peter Parker than a Tony Stark, to be honest. He's a little snarky in like a young way instead of like an old cool ass guy way. I don't know.
Somebody said in my comments, they said that they liked the voice actor because he's the same voice actor that did the voiceovers in his country for Robert Downey Jr.'s part.
Oh, really? That's funny.
So this guy actually
he's a guy
has
who's been
experience.
Iron Man.
Yeah.
He's been Iron Man before. Okay,
Just like
well,
in a
that's
different
good.
language, I guess.
But yeah, I mean, the combat feels good. The flying feels good once you start to get the hang of it. And there's a few moments in this where I was really like, you get that big blockbuster feeling. Like the music swells just the right way. Something happens.
The demo for sure. I mean, we should break this down piece by piece.
Yeah, let's talk about the controls before we
I
can
was
move
just
on.
gushing
man.
about it. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's good. Let's break it down.
Right, good.
I mean, I was actually surprised, Dave, that you said the controls take a little while to get used to, because I was
For
surprised.
me, they did. I sucked at them.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I wasn't a perfect Iron Man, on my first flight, but I was like, this is what it feels like to be Iron Man. Like, just the second I jumped in, I was like, this is amazing.
I think it reminded me of, isn't there a scene in one of the Iron Man or Avengers movies where somebody tries on the Iron Man suit and they don't know what they're doing and they just like fly around and hit walls and stuff?
Yes.
That's kind of how I felt. I was like hitting,
Probably
the canyon or whatever this was. I was hitting all the walls, running into rocks, bouncing off the water. But it was still fun because I felt like I'm Iron Man getting to know how to use my suit.
Yeah.
It still felt like I was Iron Man.
For sure. And I mean, like, I think my favorite thing was actually, not just flying around the environment. There was a point where, when you're in the mid-air battle around the plane where you're being shot at, and learning to double click the triggers to kind of to do a fast burst.
Oh, that's really fun.
You're getting shot at, so you do a fast burst to the left and fast burst to the right, because those are your best dodge options. And that feels so good to be able to do a quick dodge and then fire, and then dodge again, fire. It's just it's such a simple part of the game. Like, I mean, if you strip it down to like what is actually happening, it's so simple, but the controls make it feel so incredible. What about
It was
you?
very cinematic. I think these controls, what I like about these controls is that they're easy to learn and hard to master, I would say. Like, to me, it wasn't that hard to just start flying, but it was hard to get really good at it. And you know, once I started doing like the comp, well, first of all, when everybody first saw this trailer, originally, they were like, "Oh, it doesn't look good. It looks like a wave shooter, blah blah blah, like a rail shooter, wave shooter." That's not the case at all. You are when you're outside of that airplane, you have pretty much full control to fly around, and they mix in a couple different gameplay elements of shooting enemies while you're flying around, fixing stuff on the ship, and then just doing like these little different missions. And I thought the cinematic aspect of this game, and one thing you guys didn't mention, the soundtrack. The soundtrack.
I did mention the soundtrack. Yeah, it's awesome.
We're taking it one by one, AJ. That's what the second Dave mentioned the soundtrack. We're like, let's talk about the controls first.
Yeah, but I thought it controlled really well. The tracking. They kept talking about this secret sauce of being able to turn around completely and aim. And yeah, that was the case. I literally on my stream turned around completely 180 degrees and was like aiming and was still able to aim.
That's awesome.
I intentionally, like, what happens is
you blocked
I blocked it on purpose, and your arms kind of like end up staying kind of just in one spot, but your targets, wherever you're aiming, continues to aim wherever you want. So they did something with that algorithm. They really pulled it off well. And yeah, it's the controls and the tracking. Everybody that has problems with tracking, they're not going to have that problem in this game.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we have a relevant comment here. I'm going to hit this real quick.
Cue it up.
Joe Grover, the F and Game Cat, $5. He says, "Tell me about that HUD. It must be amazing in VR. Downloaded but haven't played yet." It is really cool in VR. When your mask lights up at first, you've got kind of a restricted view of everything. You can just see through the slits. And then once it opens up and goes into like transparent mode, you feel like you are in an Iron Man suit. It's really well done, very immersive and useful. Like, it's not blocking your view, but you can still see all your stuff up here.
Yeah, it doesn't
kind
look
of like
great on
the real
stream.
Iron Man suit.
Looking back on the stream, like I can see how people would be like, "Oh man, that HUD looks really obtrusive," but when you're in it, it feels perfect. I think without it, you'd be like, "I'm just flying around as some dude," but with it, you're like, "I'm flying around this fucking Iron Man."
I never noticed it until I was like, "Oh, I got shot. What's my health?" And I would glance down and see what my health was, or like something like that. And it also has a very useful visual representation of how you're holding your hands.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, if you're wondering like, how am I flying? What's the right way to do this? You can see where your hands are going when you're moving a certain direction. So it gets you kind of into this flow of things because there's a representation there. It's really good HUD, man. It's a great HUD.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the cool things about how well this game works, because in a lot of VR games you want to usually turn off the HUD because you feel like it breaks the immersion. This is built into the game, built into it in a way
where the character of Iron Man,
right,
it's built into him. He has a HUD in the movies, like,
and when he's in the HUD, it always like cut to this face of Robert Downey Jr.'s cut to this shot of Robert Downey Jr.'s face, and you'd see all the different stuff he's looking at. He'd see his like health levels or his suit levels and stuff like that. He'd take telephone calls and different things. What's up?
I want to take telephone calls in this game.
the cool thing to me actually is the original PSVR trailers, and actually the video or the image we use for the Gamecast, I think a lot of the time is
that dude that's like
yeah, no, it's exactly, and Space Junkies did the same thing in their trailer too. That idea of having a visual representation in front of your face, that's so widespread, and people like that idea, and it works so well here. It's really cool.
Yeah. Dave, can we can you hit up
oh yeah, we have some past tips right before the Joe Grover one.
I just want to make sure we get it before we move on.
Oh, we got Rypop. Oh wait, we got Sue Miles too, actually.
We do,
unless
indeed.
You guys got that.
We did not get that.
Okay. Sue Miles first.
Hold on, I got it. I'm scrolling down. Sue Miles with the 5 quick donation saying, "Can you imagine or describe where VR will be in about 3 years' time based on what's been released in the last few weeks?"
Right.
Yes. Dude, we've talked about it a bunch. I think
it's going to be great.
I think that VR, like, we're 6 months away from practically photorealistic VR. I mean, I'm super excited. We're not far away from that at all. Yeah,
we're getting close to that for sure. I mean, if you look at this game and stuff, and Saints and Sinners, just all these games. Imagine these games with hardware, twice the hardware, and
better
even
controllers.
more and better controllers, even more technology. Having something like this is definitely going to add to the immersion, add to the experience, also add to the gameplay,
Right.
As well.
And then,
And that's what I'm talking about.
oh, you're muted, Dave. You're muted.
I want to take this one because I got a fun fact.
Please.
Johnny Rypop. Oh, all right. Johnny Rypop, the Stray Cat, $6.99 in Canadian Monopoly money, says, "We're not going to take it. No, we ain't going to take it. We're not going to take no more." And then whatever. It's breathtaking. All of you. Keep up the good work, gents. This is funny to me because have you guys ever had a song you get stuck in your head and you go around during your day rewriting the lyrics to talk about what you're doing? Like, I'm just making breakfast. Hey, I'm just making breakfast.
I mean, I do it a lot during live streams. I can't keep myself from doing it.
There was a period of time, like months, where this song was always in my head. I don't even listen to this song, but I would just go about my day and I would be like, I'm just playing VR. Hey, I'm just playing VR. I don't know. It's a catchy one.
Nice.
Anyways,
Thank you for the
Rypop.
donation.
You're always breathtaking, man.
Guys,
And back to the story.
Yeah, I wanted to. One of the things that shocked me in the comments were people who have also played the demo on the Pro and said graphics were a letdown. You know, really just below average. 5 out of 10. The game is great, but the graphics are really below average. And I was like,
why? Who said that?
I mean, dude, comments. You know, people on the internet.
Comments are shit.
No, but
comment sections are the worst place on earth.
But that's why I wanted to bring it up and ask you guys what you thought, because I kept saying in my stream, I was like, "This looks beautiful. The sunset,
great.
reflecting on the water." You know, I mean, the environments that you're actually allowed to fly around in aren't gigantic, but what's there looks really, really good. What did you guys think?
What I'd like to see, so I think it looks really good. There is some lack of definition in like the cloud scenes where it sort of does that, like there's a 360 pasted background of clouds that aren't actually like spatially there, but it's very minimal. Like I didn't even notice that.
I gotta be honest.
But I think the main thing that I'd love to see, like on a PS5 version of this, that scene at the beginning where you're flying over the water, I'd love to see like a ripple effect going on, like the water reacting to your jets. That's not something we could do on PS4, I think. But if they upgrade this for PS5, there are so many little details like that could be really awesome. Just like the world reacting to your movement, you know?
So I thought the graphics were beautiful, like you said. I mean, I thought everything was beautiful. That being said, I do think there was it wasn't like the crispest, clearest at all times, especially like when you're looking at the bunch of like mountains or whatever. Like some of that could get a little like, you know, the resolution wasn't tight. So I think it looked great overall.
I thought when you brought your Iron Man arms up, those were like super like high res, and then like the rest of it was like not blurry, but less.
You also have to remember this is a demo, and you wouldn't know how many games I played that had a demo that didn't have like the tightest resolution. Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning, for one, did not have good resolution. And then like when the game came out, it was like stunning. So a demo is not just a chunk of the game. Like it's a separate build. And to make it function, you know, they could have had to have taken some stuff out. So I don't think you can judge this demo, the graphics going by this demo.
I'm really nervous about putting that line out there because I think this is supposed to be very representative of the final game. You know, we're 2 months away, and I understand, you know, when you do this kind of thing, it's a vertical slice. It does not, sirens on my end, it doesn't always represent the final thing. No, we're not doing that.
All right.
And so, but I have a feeling this is what the game is going to look like, and based on this demo and not what I hope the final game looks like, I'm going to be very, very happy with this.
I have no issues. There's people in the chat saying
it like this. I would be completely happy with it. It looks like a AAA VR game to me at this day and age. If you want something better, you're not going to get anything pretty much better like this until PS5 comes out.
Yeah, I mean, so there's people in the chat who seem very divided on this.
Divided.
We've got Kyle saying graphics were kind of Horseek says graphics are average.
I think they're above average. But
VR Grid says I thought it looked great. Robbie B says the graphics are mint. You got cold yogurt. No, it's blurry. So I don't know if some people just need to update their prescription or something. But also, I want to just mention real quick here, Genetic Blasphemy said,
"What's going on?"
He said, "Fuck you, Dave. It's not so great. Going back to Saints and Sinners, Iron Man is not the thing." Listen, guys, and then he followed up by saying, "No offense, Dave. It's just hypey." This isn't hypey. Gorn is hypey. We're going to talk about Gorn. Gorn is hypey.
Oh, yeah,
this is a fun game that makes you feel like you're fucking Iron Man. I don't know what else you want, man. Like it's, you can go back to Saints and Sinners all you want, but there's no reason to lash out at us for hyping this game because it's worth the hype. Having played the demo, it's good. It feels like how I want it to feel. It runs properly. It seems like the first, tip of the iceberg of a really awesome game. And I don't know why anybody would hate on this. For a free fucking demo, get out of here. I don't know.
What I appreciated was that the gameplay was somewhat challenging. Like, I cannot stand games that completely hold your hand, that are too easy, and this and that. Ah, shit, damn it. Brian, I said it again.
This and that.
But he's apparently I say this and that a lot. So.
I haven't noticed you say it once in the whole almost 2 hours we've been
Dave,
here,
when you spend 3 hours a day talking to somebody, you start picking up on little things.
Yeah.
But
we are the old married couple of PSVR.
I love the gameplay of this. I love how it now granted, it didn't work every single time where I was trying to point my hands down, and I feel like I just have I have some to learn, some to get used to it. A lot of VR games are different. A lot of them play differently. This one definitely plays different. And so I feel like maybe I just need some time to get more accustomed to the controls. But that being said, I love the fact that you hold your arms out, you point your hands down, and it turns into missiles that you can lock onto multiple targets.
Paint targets,
I didn't even use that. I didn't even know that was a thing. I totally missed that. So I got to replay the demo. There's stuff I didn't even get to.
When you go to the combat challenge, it's the first thing it makes you do.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Then I didn't play the combat challenge.
Dave, you played the demo, and then it brings you back to the main screen, and then there's 2 challenges.
Oh, those are separate?
They are separate, which I didn't know when I was doing my
stream. I got to go
stream
this afterwards because I thought that was just the initial section where it was a time trial as a playable segment, and then also the segment where you shoot stuff as a segment. So they're totally separate. That's awesome. I'm going to go back and play that. I want to talk real quick before we move on about the feeling, like the chunkiness, the sound design, and the haptics when you use the Iron Man suit. Shooting the laser beams out just feels fucking right. Feels good. It's like very satisfying. Every shot has this nice little ka-funk, ka-funk, ka-funk out of your hand, and just looks and feels and sounds exactly the way you would expect it to. Those little details go a long way.
It does shoot like a rail shooter, except you have full locomotion and flying locomotion.
Yeah.
But game shooting wise, and I don't even know when you were doing the story and stuff or the combat challenges, which I don't know. I guess you maybe missed, but you gotta remember too. Like it shows you how to melee in the very beginning, and I almost completely forgot that you could melee.
Right.
So
towards the end of the airplane scene, I was just punching the shit out of everybody.
Okay,
That's all I was doing.
And that punching works pretty well. Now you can't. It doesn't allow you to just punch in any direction at all times. Sometimes you have to be kind of squared up a little bit, which makes sense. You wouldn't be able to just completely contort your body in these weird ways and punch. But
I think the best analog for how the punching works is like the new Sonic mechanic in modern Sonic games, where you like dash down at a target and hit him. Because you basically aim on a thing and you go whoof real fast and you hit it, and then that's where you are.
Is that a new Sonic mechanic, or am I just that old where like?
Well, I mean
that's like
from Wii onwards.
Oh, I thought Sonic 3 had that
on Dreamcast.
Didn't Sonic 3 or Sonic Knuckles have that?
No, that didn't have that.
Are you sure?
No, I don't think so.
I'm sure.
Where's Mr.
Genesis
Sonic?
never had the bango thing.
Yeah, that was later.
All right, fine.
Still a long time ago, though.
Modern doesn't always mean contemporary.
Yeah, but what I liked about that was you could target, as long as you were lined up properly, you could target and hold down, like charge your fist and thrust your fist, and it would go like all the way towards them, and punch whatever. And that was a lot of fun. I kept failing the challenges at the end because I just couldn't stop punching everything. It's so much fun to do, and I was like, I love this. So I don't even care. Like I'll play it. I plan to play this a whole bunch more. But similar to the Spider-Man experience. This has we talked about what is going to be in this game, what kind of content is going to be in this game, and I think we got a little look at what we can expect for some things, and that is the time trials and the combat trials. Those also had Spider-Man also had collectibles as well, so we'll have to see if that's going to be something, and I would not be surprised if there are collectibles in it. But I think you're going to be able to do these trials, and that's a way to gain these research points in order to get these upgrades, because there is a deep, I don't know how deep it is, but there is an upgrade system and decals and stuff.
I will say, I just saw in the chat, Nick Mulo said, I think they should switch the move and trigger button functions. I got to say, they were a couple times when I was in mid firefight, and I would use the thrusters instead of shooting.
That happened to me too.
So I wouldn't be against the option to change it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And
I also would love the option to have turning buttons on the same controller. If that's what you were about to say.
Yeah.
Games that split them, where the far left side is the left and the far right side is the right, that always fucks with my head. I'm so used to just doing it on one controller.
I think
if that was an option, I'd love a control scheme where you can do it like that.
That's some like launch PSVR shit right there. It's loading human shit. That
is the Immortal Legacy stuff.
Is it Immortal Legacy?
Launch PS. Yeah, that's how.
Where you had the right hand to turn right and the left hand to turn left. I mean, we've come a long way since then. That's the problem with not having this thing like completely standardized. But normally you would just have like the right hand, or if you're a lefty, the left hand, and it would just be the triangle and the square to do that. There's also is it smooth turning? Like I couldn't tell if it's smooth turning or not, because there is an option to change it from snap to fast, which I liked, but it was still kind of like limited to, it was like smooth turning, but it was limited to like 45 degrees.
Okay, so you have to, there's options. There's when you turn it to fast, there's fast, medium, slow, and then the option below that, I believe, if I remember correctly, it's hold to turn or tap to turn. And so all these kind of like combine into making a snap turn or a smooth turn experience. Right. And so I had mine to hold the turn and fast, and it felt very much like perfect smooth turning.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with that, but what's up?
I just want to address people in the chat real quick, because like people are saying we're fanboying out, or like we're hyping this up too much. Genetic blasphemy again. He said
he already said, dude. He said he had no problem with you, man.
No, but he said it's human to overhype Iron Man. I want to be clear. We're not overhyping Iron Man. We're reacting to our
Dave. You were showing excitement. I think Brian and I have been sitting here like normal, but yeah. I mean, what's wrong? You're excited. So what?
No, all I'm saying is that there's this sentiment in the chat that we are hyping it up. I don't want anybody to be under that impression. I'm not give a shit about Iron Man. Right. It just is a fun game.
Dude, for the last year, we've been cautiously excited about Iron Man. And now that we've played the demo and we actually have a basis for our excitement,
it's pretty good.
Now it's justified.
I don't know what the problem is about saying it's good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Dude, I mean, you went
reading the chat for a minute.
Yeah, don't worry about it, man.
Stop reading the chat.
Yeah, okay. Just stop letting the chat bother you if it's bothering you that much.
It's not bothering me. I don't want to clarify. AJ, I'm just trying to clarify. Like, we are not hyping this game. We're reacting to the...
I'm hyping it because I played the demo and it was fucking amazing. So I'm going to hype the fuck out of this until launch. So you guys can all blame me for hyping it if you want, because it's fucking awesome. Why wouldn't you hype something that's fucking awesome? Like, we'll talk about Gorn in a second if you want to talk about some trash that was overhyped. But we'll get there. We'll get there. In the meantime, can we take care of a couple tips?
Yeah, sure.
We'll take care of it.
Scroll on up.
If I buy Iron Man,
if
I buy Iron Man VR physical, will PSN have a digital deluxe upgrade at launch?
Are you reading a non-tip comment? Well, I'm about to read tips.
Yeah.
You got cold yogurt, $4.99. Dave, I liked Iron Man. I meant Blood and Truth is blurry. I was talking to Genetic Blasphemy. Okay, that clears things.
Clarification. Thank you for the donation. You got cold yogurt.
5 more. It's not fair. Oh, he's not done. Nihilist guy and Ryan, the game feline, $5. Watching Dave get frustrated with Gorn was the highlight of my week. Big smiley face and a heart. Thank you, Ryan, the game feline. And that brings us up to the current moment, I think, as far as tips go.
Fantastic.
I've just been going through and just trying to break down the different things that this game has. I'm just talking about this demo and what we've noticed, because we've been speculating about what's going to be in this game, what's going to play like, what's going to feel like, what's it going to have.
Yeah.
And this demo gives us a taste, a small slice, of what's going to be in the full game. So, hype or not, like I'm just talking about the game. But yeah, and I do think overall I really enjoyed this experience from this demo. And I will say this demo not only is like kind of meaty, but like it kind of goes by fast, but it's got some replayable stuff. But if you download this demo, you get a molten lava deco for when you buy the full game. If you buy the full game, so even if you're on the fence of the game right now, go download the demo just to get that exclusive thing right there. Because I like stuff like that. I like, sometimes I like pre-order games for themes and stuff, and it's just nice to have it, even if you don't need it.
There's also
Carlos was meowing to come in. He's here now.
Nice.
Say hi to Carlos.
Welcome to the show, Carlos.
Carlos, say hi to chat. No, don't look away. Right. Say hi to chat.
He's a cat. That's exactly what he's going to do. That's where chat is, actually. He's like, anywhere but where I'm right supposed to go.
He's actually reading the chat. All right, see you later. We got another tip from Joe Grover. 2 buckaroos. He says, love you, Dave. It sounds a little hype, but I do, man. Totally all right, that's fine.
Joe Grover is a great troll.
Yeah, I'm sure.
He's secretly discovering his troll capabilities. But yeah. So anything else in this game? We talked about the gameplay. I really like how the gameplay is a little bit. It's not like it's not simple, like too simple. I really like that about it. Yeah. I know sometimes games I like are a little too complex. That for other people, like they're like, this is just too much going on. I think that this is a nice little balance of you can get through this, but if you want to get really good at it, then you got to practice and get better at it. But the music, the story, I didn't really pay attention to the beginning story, but this is supposed to be very story based, and yeah. We'll see how big the game is. 25 gigs. Do you think that's the full game that's on there?
There is a theory going on in the chat 25? That it's just a locked it's just a locked demo where it's actually the full version. Yeah, 25 gig is the final download.
Well, so mine was 16.
It says 16, but it's 25.
It says 16 when you download it. It's 25.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. I thought it was still 16. So that's cool. Yeah, but that sounds like it would be the full game unlock, and there's probably going to be a button at some point in the demo. Once they reopen the pre-order, they'll probably patch it to be like, click this button in the demo to pre-order the game, take you to the PSN store.
Yeah,
that would be interesting.
I'm super, super excited. Sumile says, yeah, Brian, when you get a furry baby, game changer. I can't wait till I can have Tornado with me here. It's going to be like 6 more weeks as it turns out. So
killing me.
Sorry. I'm gonna step away again for a sec because he came in because he's hungry and he doesn't have any food in his bowl, so he's meowing at me. So I'll be right back.
You are totally killing me with those GIFs and video clips of Tornado, man. Yeah. That cat looks adorable.
Yeah, I can't stop watching her. She's so fucking cute.
That is awesome, man.
Yeah.
But I'm super, super excited. I am hyped for this full game.
Dude, so hyped. So hyped.
Is it perfect in absolutely every way? No, but I'm still excited for it. I don't care. And I also just watched Infinity War recently and Endgame. And Infinity War, in my opinion, is like one of the not just best Marvel movies, but like one of the best movies of all time, I think. That movie, just the writing, the action, the comedy, everything about it is fantastic. Infinity War is a should we.
I haven't watched a Marvel movie since Doctor Strange. I remember sitting in the theater going, I don't know how many more of these I can take. Like, because I was going to see every single one, and I know everybody's like, you missed out on all the best ones that came out after Doctor Strange. But I was like, I just can't keep doing this. I was like, I'm going to see movies about superheroes I didn't even know existed, and I finally was like, I gotta stop it with this. Doctor Strange was okay, and I know now I have so many awesome ones to catch up on. We'll see.
This makes me wonder if this game is very successful. If maybe Insomniac starts taking a look at maybe making a Spider-Man game, like if they do more, you think that would be a good strategy, or you think it would kind of wear out, like it's welcome really fast?
No, it's a great strategy.
Yeah, just sticking to the Marvel stuff.
Yeah, why not, man? Why not?
Just make an Avengers game where you can like play as like several different.
Oh, Avengers. So they have that on PSVR. It's not very good,
right?
Well, but Camouflage didn't make it. So
yeah,
who knows?
Camouflage or
also. Can we say over the last, like I said, for the last year, I've been very, cautiously optimistic about Iron Man because of Camouflage's, prior games. Republic wasn't that great of a game. It's like, who gave these people a Marvel license, Sony money, and the permission to make like a big budget VR game. It's like, where
Well,
did this idea come from?
I think they might have already had a big budget, because whether or not you liked Republic, it was already always listed at the top of the charts. Everybody likes this game. When you get a VR headset like the Go, like it was available on Go, it's available on Quest, I think too. So it was very accessible for people. You know, even if you don't have a full on 6 Degrees of Freedom, you can play this game. And it was always at the top of the, you know, recommended top selling. So they've got money, I'm sure, you know, to hire a team
But
to,
I mean,
to
like,
really knock it out of the park.
did
know?
you play Republic?
I haven't played it. No, I saw it all the time.
I played it when it first came out on PS4, and it's just like the two games couldn't be any more different. Like
Oh, but you played it flat screen?
yeah, because it
Oh,
doesn't have
it's-
PSVR support.
Oh, it's supposed to be a VR game. That's weird as fuck too, because it's on Oculus Go. Why isn't it on PSVR? That doesn't make any sense. But
I don't know. I don't ask questions. I just play the games.
yeah, I don't know.
And so, but it's just like I was like, this is not a team that I would give Iron Man to for VR. It's just radically different in every way, and just I didn't see the vision or see a team that could have a vision this grand.
Are you happy to eat your words on that one?
I'm so happy to eat my words.
Yeah.
I'm thrilled. They killed it,
that's
man.
so. When Firewall was coming out, I said this Adam Orth guy, I don't trust him. This team, I don't know if they're going to be able to do it. This might suck. Don't
Yep.
get so hype. And I was wrong, and I was happy to be wrong.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I think that's the same thing with this. If that's how you were feeling going into it,
I'm always happy to be wrong, Dave, especially when it means we get a good game out of it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
for sure.
So
All right.
about being wrong. You guys want to talk about the next game on our list of things to talk about?
So, yes, we have a game that came out this week, and it goes by the name of Gorn in all capitals and like 1,000 O's and 5,000 N's. Gorn came out, you guys. It finally happened. It's a thing. It really exists on the PS4 now. Anybody just tuning in, Gorn released.
Gorn is out.
Released.
First impressions.
First impressions. 10 minutes. Well, I've beaten the game now. I beat the game last night. I spent all the time, and I definitely was covered in sweat by the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
First impressions, I played without streaming it, and it was just like 10 minutes, and I was like, ugh, I don't know. And then I watched Dave's stream, and then I went and streamed it, and I had fun when I streamed it. And I was like, okay, so I'm gonna have to play the rest of this without streaming to make sure to see whether or not I just enjoyed this because I'm streaming it, or I enjoyed this because of what's there. So that was my first impression,
All
as
right.
Dave wishes his cat's head.
I will say my first impression were, I was like, you know what, this is a big dumb goofy game as it's supposed to be, and you know, my first impression was I don't like the locomotion system, but I get it. They want you to act kind of silly just to get around, and that gets tiring really fast. So I was already sick of that locomotion method probably 20 minutes into the game. And I didn't know from the trailers, because I also didn't pay attention to any PC reviews or anything like that, that the weapons were going to be big and floppy. I knew they were going to be oversized and kind of ridiculous, but I didn't realize they were going to be like bendy. And so suddenly we get into Octodad territory, QWOP territory.
Right.
You know, all these
I
games.
mentioned QWOP very early in my stream, because the locomotion system and the way the guys in front of you are moving and just the way you have to do everything is like so stupid. I think on purpose, but it's very stupid.
No, and that's the problem, is that everything that this game seems to do, it does intentionally for a laugh, but the laughs die out so quickly for me, where I was like, this just I'm not laughing anymore. I'm just frustrated, and I'm not enjoying swinging this big floppy sword around. You know, this is Surgeon Simulator all over again. If you like that kind of thing and you think you're going to get a kick out of it, by all means, just go buy it and don't even wait for my review.
Just real quick, this is way more accessible than Surgeon Sim, and I think more people would like this than Surgeon Sim, because that's a very specific niche kind of game. But it is stupidly designed, like you said, like on purpose, like QWOP, where you're supposed to be a surgeon, but you're totally terrible at everything. We have a shitload of tips, guys. Should we?
Yeah, why not, man? Let's get caught up on these things.
We have like a zillion tips. So AJ mentioned K-Panic. That was a while ago. We got to get back to him. Okay, so first of all, I'm not even going to hit this thing anymore. It doesn't work, right?
Yeah.
K-Panic, the game Cat and Mouse, $5, says, I called Gorn sucking months ago. It's like Super Snot 2. I don't know what super snot too.
It's like super. No, I don't know. Okay, I don't know.
David Moore with the $9.99 donation says best Dave Gorn death. Best Dave Gorn death. The guy was literally dying on the ground, flat on his back, spasming, head towards the light, and somehow Dave took Dave out. Still can't believe it.
Yeah,
I missed your stream, man. I need to see this.
We'll get to this, but what he's talking about is how badly designed the health system is in this game, and we'll get to that. But that is a huge point. Yes, that made me very angry. Then we got Aceville, the Attack Cat, $5. Gorn could never live up to its pre-release buzz. It was grossly overhyped.
I wonder by who.
Hold on, he's shifting gears here. He had me in the first half. ... Also, it's a good time, worth the money, and as fun as fuck, he says. Although he abbreviated that, he didn't curse. Who's next? Lipnox, $2 from Canada. It's like, what is that, like 50 cents? Gorn is awesome. Movement is fine.
Nope.
I think the movement. Let me harp on this one for a second. I think the movement is fine. I think at first I was quick to be like, this locomotion system's terrible. Blah blah blah. As I still think there should be an option to just press the move controller and point in any direction and walk. I still think there should be an option,
like there was
something
on
like
PC, yeah.
However, let me just finish.
Yeah,
I think as a fitness thing, I think one of the selling points of this game is that movement system is like very like fitness related for me. Like I was sweating my ass off, and I think because of the fitness aspect of it, I do like the movement system. Now it is clunky, it's hard to use, but in terms of fitness, I like it. What were you gonna say?
Okay, so if we're talking about a Venn diagram here with the health mechanic and the movement mechanic, there were plenty of times where I was okay with one or the other, but there were a lot of times where they overlapped in the middle here, where this movement system paired with this health system became a huge pain in the ass.
Absolutely.
Because say you knock a guy across the wall, like someone has just hit me. Well, let's get into this real quick. Let's break this down.
It's like kayaking.
No, well, there's a few things to talk about to break down here. First thing is the health system. If you get hit once by anyone, you are on a one-way ticket to death unless you kill a guy within a certain amount of time.
Right.
Regardless of if the guy who hit you is laying on the floor, bleeding out, not even touching you, no one's attacking you, there's no health regeneration, which is totally bonkers. It doesn't make any sense to me, because the flip side of that is when you knock a guy across the wall, like to the other side of the stage, and you're dying because he hit you, you have to fucking row your way all the way over there and try and kill him as fast as you can just to not die. And it's so frustrating because there's often those two things collide in that exact way. And you're just like, I'd be fine with this locomotion system or this health system in a vacuum separately, but when they run up against each other, it's a fucking nightmare, man. It pisses me off. And you'll get to like the end of a long stage where you're fighting a boss, you almost beat him, and then you got to start over again because you fucking died for some stupid reason. I don't know. It just, I don't know. Let's get more tips. We got more tips.
I know, for sure.
I do think this causes a lot of weird difficulty spikes in the game.
It does,
that health system. That's my biggest problem with it. I actually don't mind the thing, except for it just doesn't function that well. Like it's not consistent. And that's kind of the problem I have with it.
All right, so we got Donatello, the scientist game cat. $10. Gorn is old news. Never thought I'd say that a few days after release. I mean, once Saints and Sinners came out, Gorn was already old news, and then Iron Man came out, and then
Donnie,
whatever.
were you excited for Gorn? Did your kid like it?
Kid should love this game. Kid should absolutely love this game. It is goofy, it's
like
stupid,
too.
bloody,
also,
gory.
Pinata mode. Pinata mode is fun too. I like Pinata mode.
I like it. I actually, that is one thing I loved about this game is just how over the top brutal it is. I loved slicing someone's face in half. And I'm not even like a gore guy. Like when it comes to movies, like, yes, I like horror, but I don't like gore. I don't like super gross guts and blood and this and that. I more like creatures that scary monsters as well.
Oh, like The Thing or something. Yeah, where it's like gross but awesome. You're like, somebody built that fucking thing. That's crazy.
But I don't necessarily enjoy seeing somebody's like flesh get ripped out of the thing. This being cartoony, it doesn't gross me out at all. And
I think it's funny.
Like
I think it's really well done.
Yeah, the physics actually kind of work in a way, even though it's like supposed to be as like ridiculous as possible, and it is. The physics do kind of work. There were several times where one of my favorite things about this game, let me stick on the blood for now. I love the excessive blood.
It's like Django Unchained or something.
I love
like
slicing off their head, and the jaw is still intact on the thing, and the rest of their face is like across the arena. I love that. It's a throwback to like Gladiators. I mean, that's what this is all about. It's supposed to be like Gladiators, just like a silly version of it. And those were very gory and very violent. And that's kind of what this is. So I think that's on point.
The other thing I will say is that compared to the PC version, I noticed when I saw people streaming it on PC, it looked more, I don't know what the word is, like gut wrenching. Like it was a little too much gore for me. The way that, even though it's cartoony and silly, the level of degradation when you'd bash on a guy's head was like a little too real anyways. And so one kind of positive upswing of the PSVR having less power is that it's a little more cartoony than it is on PC. Like you don't get the same like guy's guts popping out. You're playing with his spine, this sort of shit the same way. And also there's pinata mode. So if you want your kids to play this and you don't want them seeing all that gore, pinata mode is super fun. Like lollipops pop out their head when you blow them up. It's pretty cool. You just go to low violence mode and you tap that. So
yeah, they don't call it pinata mode. They just turn off the gore. It's weird.
Exactly. We got a few more tips actually to get to while I'm talking. We got Retro Medic, $5. If I buy Iron Man VR physically, will Digital Deluxe upgrade be available at launch?
Let's hope so, because
I hope so too.
Yeah.
You forgot that other part, Dave.
Thanks, AJ, for trying to answer without a tip.
You're welcome.
Well, because people started answering the question while I was halfway through it. So that's why. And then Joe Grover says, saw that move mechanic and thought, nope, $2. Yeah, move mechanic is not great in this game.
It's a lot of work. The 15 minutes of this game feels like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I played for 30 minutes. It felt like, or I played for like 45 minutes. It felt like 3 hours. It is a lot of effort, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. That's just going to narrow down who's going to enjoy this game or not. A lot of people, they get home from work, they're tired. This was the argument they had for Sprint Vector, and this works a lot like Sprint Vector, except when you do this, you don't glide gracefully. You take like one step forward after being like, so it's a lot of effort for a little bit of movement. I
enjoyed getting a good workout from this. Like, I am a little bit sore from the last 2 days of playing, and I'm fine with that. But that doesn't mean I think it's a good movement mechanic. I like getting a workout when I play because I live a pretty stagnant lifestyle. But don't force that on me in a game that has you walking just a few steps here and there. Like Sprint Vector is a great workout game. Creed is a great workout game. This
is more of a workout than Sprint Vector or Creed.
Absolutely.
I don't know how. Just because I think the desperation of it. So Sprint Vector is very straightforward. You're on a track and you're just going boom, boom, boom. I got to jump here. I got to go here. You feel like in control. In this one, like I'll be knocking a guy on the head, trying to get out of the way. There's a dude behind me all of a sudden. I got to figure out how to get to him. And I'm just like freaking out. I get hit once, I'm dying. I have to run like crazy and beat a guy up. Like it's very hectic because of the movement system and the health system and just the way it's designed. So you end up swinging your arms like a fucking madman the whole time. It's more of a workout than Beat Saber. It's more than a workout than anything.
I think Sprint Vector might have given me a bigger workout, but still, like, this is ridiculous.
Once you get good at Sprint Vector, or like not, I didn't mean it like that, but once you play a lot of Sprint Vector, you can actually play that game and do a lot of stuff with like very little effort. That's the thing there. This one, I tried just like using small like flicks of the wrist and stuff and like different ways to see if it was the same where I could play this while exerting less energy. And it's like, not really. I mean, there's a custom mode and there's different things you can do, but playing the main game, it's like there's only really one way to play it and it's pretty brutal.
So the one thing that I will say, when you brought up physics, like, I think that's the strong suit of the game. We just saw Walking Dead, and it's hard to beat those physics because the physics in that game are incredible. But this does a similar thing where it tries to imitate weight by making it important where you hold the weapons, how you swing them, and even the floppiness of them sort of adds something to the physics of how you swing it. And so I think that's the one kind of bright spot for me is that, like, swinging around the chained spike thing and, like, the mace, hitting a guy in the head with an axe, it all felt really good. It's satisfying to use the weapons. So I think while not all of them are that fun, there's plenty of cool stuff to play around with physics-wise in here.
Yeah.
And that's like the strong suit, I think. It's like a physics sandbox.
Sorry if I wasn't paying attention. Did we get Robbie B's tip?
I don't know. Let me check. Which one is that? He said...
No,
we didn't get him. It's on you, Brian.
Fuck you, I'm British. That's Robbie B, the English Game Cat, with five quid donations. And Gorn is a stress reliever for getting angry at your boss. Custom mode makes the game way more interesting. I'm happy to entertain that thought, but I spent time with the custom modes and I was like, I don't know, man. It's like I didn't love the game, and the custom mode makes me go, okay, this is ways to fuck with the game.
Yeah. There was something I was going to mention in Espire 1 that I didn't get a chance to, but this has it as well, and that is the custom mode where there's like low gravity. And I enjoyed just floating around with low gravity on in Gorn. It was something very relaxing, just flying around that arena and floating around. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like there were elements in the custom modes that should have been implemented in the main game. You know, where he's like, where they throw you into an arena. It's like this arena has low gravity, or this, you know, where you can actually kind of jump, or this arena, you know, here's the guys are way bigger than you, or you're way bigger than them. I feel like they could have made the main campaign, which was kind of bland, to be honest with you. You're fighting the same guys over and over and over with different variations of armor, and then different. You know, the weapons I don't even think were all that creative. It's like, oh, thank God I finally got Wolverine claws, and oh, here's crab claws. It's like they're good, but they're not crazy awesome.
Well, so one thing when you bring up crab claws and Wolverine claws, AJ, I'll let you talk about this because you brought it up to me on the phone the other night. But that thing about how all the stuff is locked behind the final level, all the cool shit's at the end. Yeah. So I haven't got that far. How did that feel to you when you had to wait that long?
I really thought that there was some game design choices here where I was like, this could have been really spread out. Instead of like I felt like they put a lot of the cool weapons into like one chapter or one stage, one level. And I really felt like the Wolverine claws, something like that, could have been in like you know the final weapon you use in the end of the first area. First, like there's like 3 different floors, right? And each one has like 3 different levels. And yeah, I really felt like they could have spread out the weapons a little bit better. Mm-hmm. And because I felt like they did cause a lot of difficulty spikes. But yeah, and you know, they give you some of the weapons against some of the wrong enemies, I thought, and they also
absolutely. So one thing is, if the game tells you to use a certain weapon, feel free to fucking completely ignore the game. Because oftentimes the weapon that they give you is not well suited to the thing. Like when they gave me a bow and arrow, that got me killed immediately. The best thing to do is shoot one guy with bow and arrow, take his mace, and go kill everybody else with the mace. Yeah. Like,
and then hold on to that. They try to make it like the new weapons, and then so I would have one weapon in my hand and go grab the new one it tells me and raise it, and then I just discard it and keep the one that I still have.
The only thing is sometimes those old ones disappear when you start a stage. I've had a few times where I would set weapons down to save them, because this is kind of a weird thing it makes you do. Like AJ said, you have to pick up the weapon that they want you to hold to start the level. You can't even do it if you're holding something else. So it forces you to pick these things up that you might not want to use. And there were a few times where I would like leave an axe over here to go pick it up afterwards, and it wasn't there when I came back. So just, you know, keep an eye out on that.
Yeah, I also found the arena variety terrible. There's like 3 arenas, and it's like they're all fairly similar. This one has spikes on the wall. This one has spikes in the ground. And I was like, come on, man! It's like we're paying. I don't know if people think $20 isn't a lot to spend on a game, but I was like, this is the more I played, I was like, I'm seeing the same enemy over and over, just a couple different interesting bosses, and I say interesting with fucking italicized and quotes around it, because it's there. I thought all the bosses were way too easy, and they weren't terribly interesting. And then the arenas, there's not enough variety. And I was like, halfway through, I'm like, this is a fucking tech demo that somebody was like, let's slap a name on it and call it a game and charge $20 for it. It's like, this is a $10 game at best.
Well, here's the thing that I think is frustrating about it. So, like you said, the custom mode sounds like where the real juice is at. like where it's fun, where you can play around and have a good time with it. Because the idea of this is to be
it's almost like a sandbox, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, isn't the concept of this game to be like a stress relieving sandbox where you just walk around and hit guys on the head with whatever weapons you got?
Yeah.
I think that the fact they gate it behind these kind of frustrating, stupid arenas sometimes, where it's like the weapons they give you aren't even really tailored to the challenge in front of you. If they just let you play custom from the start, like that would be really fun. I don't know. I think that's where the meat of the game is, because those variations, like you said, being bigger than a guy, low gravity, having a crazy weapon that you don't usually have, these things are fun and interesting. The way that they present the campaign to you, sometimes the combinations they come up with of enemies and weapons are like lame as fuck, and you just don't want to do it. So I think having the freedom to do that for yourself from the beginning would make this game like a much better prospect for people, as far as just like a stress relieving, squish ball, like fucking hit stuff.
AJ, you just estimated in the chat that Iron Man's going to be anywhere from 5 to 13 hours. What's the point of even estimating if you're just going to say it's anywhere from short to long?
That was a joke. That was a joke.
Yes. We're doing relevant tips.
Please do it. Thank you.
Ty Queen, $5 from Canada. AJ, we're doing a tip.
What a
Thank you, Ty
Iron
Queen.
Man VR is sick with 2Ks, motherfucker.
Yeah,
Ty
it is.
Queen,
Thanks,
thank you for
Ty
the tip. $5.
Yeah, Iron Man's
All right.
fucking legit, man.
It is legit.
I need to explain myself because I got called out. Plo said, I enjoy an Iron Man. The only question is, how long will it be?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I don't know. I said, Plo, no idea how long Iron Man will be, but they said full length. So as a joke, I said that could be 5 hours to 13 hours. So
it's hard to read sarcasm over text. You really gotta.
Yeah.
Yep.
So anyways,
that's why I called you out on it, because it was hilarious.
I think I enjoyed going through the story more because I knew I was progressing towards something. I'm not really the kind of person that likes to just dick around in games and stuff. I like to.
Wait, did you say the story? You were going through the story of Gorn?
The campaign.
Let's specify it. Let's specify here real quick. There is no narrative to this game.
There is no story. It is just
nothing.
It is just you must defeat all my minions.
Exactly.
But look, there is one thing that I loved about this game. There's one thing about this game that truly won me over. And before I say what it is, Johnny Rypop with the stray cat with the 279 donations says, a welcome back to Tommy and his epic viewer takeover.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah,
so
that was
good.
like one of our best ever viewer takeover intros. Very clever.
Thank you, Ryan. And Tommy the cat in the VR hat is back, ladies and gentlemen. He's kind of a big deal. Go watch
it's like Easter Sunday, man, or some shit.
That is still one of the greatest.
Is
still one of the best viewer takeover intros ever. But guys, what won me over in this game, and this isn't going to apply to everybody.
I know what you're about to say, motherfucker. I know exactly what you're about to say.
This game has a Buster Sword.
You're now obligated to go get your Buster Sword and show everybody your real life Buster
Sword. I will go get my Buster Sword after I talk about the Buster Sword a little bit.
Gotcha.
So the Buster Sword, for anybody who doesn't know, is my favorite weapon of all time in anything ever. I love it so much. And there is a actual Buster Sword in Gorn. And it's a giant rubbery Buster Sword. So there's that. But it both breaks armor and it slices people's heads off, slices people in half. It is the greatest thing ever. So if you're a fan of Buster Swords, you might want to check this one out.
If you're a fan of Buster Swords, you should be so fucking mad that a game like Gorn is the one to fucking showcase it in their combat.
I mean, you could be playing FF7 remake. To be fair,
it would have been amazing if Saints and Sinners had a Buster Sword, but Gorn, it's like, oh man, just fucking insult to injury.
I could even spin the Buster Sword and do the fanfare and put it behind my back.
And did you go? You did it?
No, I didn't. But that would be. But if
I tried, you did it wrong, AJ. You did it wrong.
Dude,
I would fucking kill myself by accident.
You know what's really funny about that? In the new FF7 remake game, Barrett is always going around humming the fight theme. He goes after you beat a fight. It's really funny, like a meta kind of joke. AJ left in the middle of a Gorn discussion. I think you shamed him too
even
hard for that,
worse,
because the look on your face when he was talking about that Buster Sword, man, you were like,
yeah. No, trust me, we already had this conversation on the phone, and that was the same look
oh, he
I
told
had.
me about it last night too. I said, I know it's coming, man.
Like, yeah, no, I'm like, you can't. This does not save a bad
It doesn't
game.
make the game good.
Right.
But like he said, like we talked about, those cool things, even if you love the Buster Sword, you want to play with it.
He's
in
going to
Gorn.
get his Buster Sword. You told him to, and now he's going to get it. That's where he
Oh,
went. You know,
okay, yeah,
that's
great.
what's happening.
But in the game, if you want to use that, you got to wait till like the ass end of the game. You got to get through all these frustrating challenges that are kind of, to be honest, poorly designed in some cases. And even on, somebody suggested I play on easy, it was still pissing me off on easy. I got to be honest. Like, just because it's not as hard doesn't mean I still don't like the gameplay mechanics. Because, like I said again and again, the health and the movement intersect in all these stupid ways, and I just very unsatisfied with the. Oh shit! Here we go. Look at, you can see your face in that shit. Look at that.
I can see my face in that shit. That's really strange.
Oh, I just poked a hole in my wall. Every time I bring this thing on this show, something really bad happens. This, for anybody who doesn't know, this is a Buster Sword, and it's basically a big ass sword. And yeah, it's my favorite.
Can you hold up and swing it? Like, is it too
I'm
heavy?
not gonna do it right now.
You just put a hole in his wall by holding it. What do you think's gonna happen if he swings it?
Yeah, seriously.
This is the ultimate Gorn experience. Punch a hole in your wall.
I
Break
don't
your TV.
Last time I fucking almost chopped off my toe when I had this thing on here.
Somebody just referenced that in the chat. Actually, that somebody called back
did.
that. Yeah, somebody's talking about you.
That was the last
cutting
time
off your
I bought the thing. Yeah, I stabbed the shit out of my toe. Like,
that is fucking hilarious.
Gorn.
I need to figure out who said that.
By having this weapon, because this is my favorite weapon ever, and it is so fun to wield in the game. And I don't care if it's like, I don't care if it's like a big rubbery one. It was fucking awesome to be able to use that, and I absolutely loved it.
Wow.
I can't find who talked about your little toe. Anyways, we got another tip from Joe Grover.
Red Rover, send Joe Grover right over. Yeah, we gotta work on that. I don't know
Says,
what's going on there.
$10. Need to head out. Thanks for another killer stream, guys. We'll watch the rest later. P.S. Didn't mean to sound like I was trolling Dave. Tried to sound ironically clever. Fail. There. Therapy over. All right. Appreciate it. Thank you,
Dave
Joe.
failed, but
I failed?
I'm just kidding.
Out of here.
What Genetic Blasphemy said, is that 3D printed? Then Boy Brown follows it up with, did you get that at Walmart, AJ? Does it look like a cheap imitation or something? I mean, it looks extra shiny.
It's not as big. Here's the thing, AJ. I think everybody's wondering now. Are you a cosplayer?
No, I'm not.
Want to know.
I've never cosplayed.
Delirium Drew says Cloud's kitchen knife. That is a hilarious image. I love that.
I toast with this thing in the morning. I just wake up and I wield this, and yeah, I heat it up a little bit.
I want you to shave with that.
I love how you keep saying you wield it instead of you're holding it. You're always like, I wield my Buster Sword. I wield my...
You don't hold a Buster Sword, man. You wield a Buster Sword.
I get it, but like, I could be like, I'm wielding this tape measure right now. Motherfucker's like,
I'm wielding a coffee cup.
No, I do everything with this. I mow my lawn. I trim the bushes. I shave. I slice my bread.
I was going to say, I'm curious to know where you shave with that, because I feel like it could get a little bit sensitive down below the belt.
Well, here's the thing. There's those holes in it. No, see those holes, Brian? That's where you just stick it in and it chops all. It's so sharp on the inside. You just go, it's like an in and out.
I don't know how I feel about this conversation. I'm very getting...
It seems like a typical conversation for this channel.
I gotta be
absolutely, but still, I'm getting very uncomfortable. Like,
I gotta be, I'm a little nervous right now because, like, I really almost took my toe off last time. So
this is
I'm just gonna
how
kind of
this
hang
show
out
goes. We end up on this instead of Gorn.
I really like
talk more about Gorn.
I really like the physics. I really like the gore, and I'm not even a gore guy. And I don't mind the movement system, but I do think there should be a better movement, an alternate movement system. The blue grid needs to go. That is the only thing where I'm like, that is like the biggest problem with this game that I have.
Right.
Why is that blue grid there?
Not even
the
anywhere
frustrating
near
part about it is like it doesn't keep you from moving through it. It's not actually the limit of your camera space. You can put your hands right through the grid, no problem. It still tracks.
Right.
The other part is that the game requires you to A, lift your hands at the beginning of every stage, and B, reach on the ground physically and pick up every weapon. There's no force grip. This game needs a fucking force grip.
Yeah.
Like,
or a crouch button.
Or a crouch button. So what you're doing is you're literally bending down all the time to pick stuff up, and the game is telling you, hey man, don't go there. And it's like, you're telling me I have to go there to get a weapon. Like, what do you want? And you can't turn it off. It's highly frustrating. Very stupid. I don't know who thought of this fucking thing and made it mandatory.
Yeah,
so
they need to be able we need to be able to turn that thing off because it kills the immersion. Also, dude, I was having way more fun with Gorn when I was playing. I was playing all sorts of different music, right? So I had my headphones in. Then I had my Echo Show playing music because I was like, there's no music in this game. I was like, Coliseum music is like a thing. Gladiator music is like a thing. And
it's dead silent. The game is weirdly fucking silent.
With just like spectators laughing at you, which, by the way, fucking terrible final boss. It was like just god awful final boss.
I was so excited about that at first because I was like, oh, this is such a Doom like inspired thing, like the screaming heads flying at you and stuff. But yeah, the final boss design is awful.
Terrible.
Absolutely awful. I think it is so hard to pull off, even knowing what to do. It took me a minute to figure out what to do.
It took me 40 minutes to figure out what to do. I'm playing the same level for 40 minutes going, I'm making no progress.
Well, I saw you play the Achilles level, and I saw how you did on that one. His name's Achilles, Brian. Yeah, you didn't even go for his leg one time.
You know, I expect a little bit of sympathy from a fellow streamer. You know?
No. See, here's the thing. I got stuck on a bunch of stages, and I kept having to replay them. Got really frustrated. That guy, I killed in like 3 seconds.
Oh yeah, dude!
Because his leg's right there. You just walk up.
The
Achilles,
first time,
see you later, heel.
I beat that guy before the stream. And I killed him in like 2 hits.
Oh, but you didn't know why.
I didn't know
why you killed him.
And so I was like, oh, this guy's easy to kill. I killed him in 2 hits. And so I kept thinking, oh, I'll just got to try again. And then, and so that got into my brain rather than, oh, his name's fucking Achilles. I should hit him in the heel.
I was texting you like, his name's Achilles, you son of a bitch. Just hit him in the leg.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's a part of me that was happy that the chat was so angry about that. Because I'm like, you know what?
Oh, they were rioting. There were like 70 comments like, hit him in the leg, dumbass. Hit him in the leg.
Brian, these days, it takes Brian about 45 minutes to get his current
to catch up because there's like 300 people talking.
Also true. This is the live streams have been insane lately. I got to find a better way to still hear comments and not have them be delayed by 40 minutes. But thank you, by the way. That sounds like I'm not being appreciative, but I am very, very appreciative of everybody who watches the stream and yells at me while I play. I mean, you guys are awesome. For real. I'm like, that sounds so insincere, but I'm being very sincere right now.
No, I know. I'm sorry. I was laughing at the chat.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm laughing at the chat and this and that. Whatever.
That's not a knife. Knife. Dave tipped me $2 to do an Australian accent for 2 minutes in my stream.
Oh, good.
I did, yeah.
It was nice.
Your streams are way different than my streams.
They are.
I mean, I would tip you that to do the same thing, but you wouldn't even notice it. And people would be in the chat saying, oh, Dave tipped $2 for you to do an Australian accent. And then you wouldn't see it for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So, bottom line for me, I think there is an audience for this game. I think there's a target audience for this game.
Children.
I think there's adults too that can like this game.
I know. I'm just fucking with you, but yeah.
But you have to be wanting to like get a workout. You have to be able to appreciate like, you know, some of the things. It's a game that's designed to be hard. Like it doesn't make anything easy to do on purpose. And if you get frustrated easy, I think then you're not going to like it very much. If you find it humorous, then you will like it.
Yeah.
For me, I just started liking this game when I got the Buster Sword.
Which is at the very end of the game after hours and hours of gameplay. Just to be clear.
Yeah. I mean, I like some of it when I started getting the crab claws too and stuff. I did like the
crab claws are awesome, but that's in the same
That was
chapter. It's in the final chapter, anyways. All the cool weapons are at the end. It sounds like.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's. I think if we ended this discussion without me saying that I had no fun with Gorn, then that would be a lie. There were certainly long spans of time where I was like, this is really fun. You know, I had a giant hammer and I was like whacking guys into the wall into spikes. Or I was, you know, just like slamming people's armor off and, you know, or like I had the Wolverine claws and I was like, and then grabbing and pulling their heart right out of their chest. There were moments in this game that were phenomenal. And I just don't, but unfortunately there were too many things that kept me from enjoying the entire thing. So yeah, I mean, right now, you know, I'm working on my review. I'm somewhere around the 6 out of 10. It could easily slip lower. It could easily slip higher. I feel like I need to give it one last shot before I do the final edit on this review, and hopefully I'll have that done tomorrow morning. I just want to be 100% confident about my thoughts on this. I've spent 8 hours playing this game. I should be 100% confident. It's like a 2-hour game. It's not a long game.
There's way too much time to be playing this.
Yeah.
But you guys honestly, know me. I'm fucking OCD.
I was kind of, I don't know. I'm at like a 7.4 maybe at best.
Without the Buster Sword?
Without the Buster Sword? Without
7.
the Buster Sword, like 6.8.
Then that should be your score. That's your score.
Thank you.
But
hey, we don't run AJ's channel, man. Like, we don't tell him how to do his reviews.
Back up.
Well, actually, we do. We tell him to change the title all the time.
Maybe he doesn't listen to what we tell him.
Well, I know he's not going to listen.
Right. That's why I stopped telling him anything.
What'd you say?
Yeah, I keep telling him. Nothing. No, I said I admire your balls for not putting VR in the headset. I told you last night, or VR in the title.
You admire what? That I put my.
Shut up. Never mind. I didn't say anything. Let's go.
Putting balls into VR headsets.
Putting balls into headsets.
Hack just got here. Thanks for joining, Hack.
Hey, what's that back? Good timing.
Oh, shit just got lit.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's home from work though, so that's a good thing.
If you guys saw my stream, I was very angry and I said very negative things and I was mad and I shouted and I said, fuck this goddamn game. I played off stream this evening and I still was very frustrated, but it was a little better. So I'll say it notched it up like a little bit, not trying to keep up with chat while I was playing, but I still don't like it very much, to be honest. There's something at the core that is very satisfying. The feeling of taking
the physics and the gore.
If you're taking a spiked mace and swinging it around and bashing a dude in the head, it feels nice. It feels right. It's satisfying. The only thing is the rest of the game around it is just so poorly put together, and that I can't recommend it.
I do need to play this. Donatello, the scientist game cat, with the $1.99 donation says Gorn with metal music in the ear is cool. I have not played this with metal music yet.
Yeah. Oh, you need to. Absolutely.
I need to play this I need to put some metal on, get some of my Joe Mojo Angel Crypt going, and I need to try this with some metal. He said he played with Guar.
It's so much better. Like I was just picking stuff that I like, some grunge music, Nirvana, Nevermind, like whatever, just like random shit, MCR, like and man, it's so much better. And the fact that it doesn't include a soundtrack, it really could have added to the whole experience. I think it could have been, it could have distracted me from the weird silence. But oh well. All right, you guys. I feel like this might be the end of the show.
'Tis yet another day.
Do we have anything else to talk about?
God,
I mean, I guess we always do, but it's been almost 3 hours. We've talked quite a lot. And,
there's a couple things that I haven't looked into yet. That I'll just save for next week. No, I will. I don't know. So I have to look into them, read into them a little bit more. But yeah, highly recommend everybody picks up the Iron Man demo. That's free.
Yes.
Yep. Like it or don't like it, we don't care. Your opinion's your opinion. But I think we universally over here fucking loved it.
Yes.
Yes, I really enjoyed the Iron Man demo.
Yes.
And I think, what's our consensus on Gorn? AJ, you're sort of positive. Brian, you're sort of negative. I think I'm sort of negative.
I think there's people. I think there's reasons to like it, and there's reasons to like, just play something else.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not amazing, but I don't think it's horrible either.
Yep. And that's it.
Yeah.
Thanks
for tuning in, everybody, once again.
Pretty much, yeah. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. This has been not quite a 3-hour games cast, but man, sometimes that's a relief.
There's still time, man.
Dude, getting to just stand up. Getting to just stand up and stretch my legs is going to be really nice because I haven't stood up for the last almost 3 hours.
Let's all get a stretching. You guys want to get a stretching real quick?
No, I want to.
Everybody out there watching. Everybody out there watching. Let's get a stretching real quick.
That's how I exercise in the morning.
Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Make sure you join our Discord. The link's in the description. That's where this conversation happens 24/7. People fucking all around the world, man. I wake up sometimes at 2 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock at night. It doesn't matter. There's always somebody talking.
Oh, shit.
So thank you all for hanging out, being part of our Discord community. Thank you for hanging out and watching our show. And, you know, obviously we appreciate every single donation that was given to us, but we also appreciate all the people commenting and, of course, the people who are sitting there in the shadows, not saying a word, just enjoying the show. Because as you guys know, that's who I was before Without Parole was a thing.
Yeah. Who let you out of the shadows, bro?
What is happening over there on the right side of the screen? What the fuck is AJ doing?
I don't know. He's listening back to the mix.
Okay.
He's got the one ear on.
There we go. All right, you guys. Thank you all very much, and please take care of yourself. Take care of everyone else. AJ is losing his shit, Lip Knox, and I think that's our time to say goodbye. So thank you.
Red 13 lives.
Oh my God, we really need to end the show right now. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, AJ. Thank you, Cats. My name is Brian. This is PSVR Gamescast, and we're out.
Love you guys. Love you 3000. Atmos VR 77. Thank you so much for hanging out. Delirium Drew, the Game Cat. Meow. David Higgins. What's up?
Oh wait, AJ.
What? Oh yeah. Delirium Drew. Game Cat. Atmos. Young and boy. David Higgins, JJ, the Pumpkin Patch Kid. Jason Jordan, Nick Mueller, the Game Cat. The Hunter Wolf, somebody stop AJ before he destroys his house with the butter sword. It's too late, man. Lip Knox 88. Hack the Game Cat or Seek. I am or Seek. Genetic class for me, Mr. 777, David Moore, Brad out of hell. He Austin Game Cat. David Higgins, Surreal Deal, Tiffany Holman. Genetic class for me again. Jason Jordan. I can't rap. I'm sorry.
No, you're doing great, man. I can't beatbox either.
DJ.
Incredible. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. You're all breathtaking, in the words of Right Pop.
You are all fantastic. Thank you very, very much. There's that cat. Let's cue the music. This show's almost over.
Wait, you didn't? The cat wasn't already going?
No, the cat just finished. You get all the way to the camera.
Wait, the camera
Man.
Gorn out yet?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Iron Man VR. PS5, PSVR. All right, let's go.
Let's get out of here. We love you guys. Thank you so much. Meow meow.